And a Thursday Night Football City brings us to South Florida and Miami. And an AFC matchup tonight, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Miami Dolphins from Sun Life Stadium. The Bengals come in under Marvin Lewis, the top record in the AFC North by a good margin over the second-place Ravens. Meanwhile, after a red-hot start for the Dolphins and Joe Philbin in his second year, they have now lost 4 straight. They're closer to the bottom than the top, but a win tonight would put them back in the wild card picture. Welcome to Miami, everybody. Brad Nessler along with Mike Mayock, and we wish you a happy Halloween. The Bengals come to town with the right color uniforms, that's for sure. And partner, they've done just about everything right over the course of the last month. They've got a red-hot quarterback in Andy Dalton who had a 5-touchdown performance over the Jets last week. They do have a 2.5-game lead in their division, and they look like they're built as a team that can maybe make a run for the whole thing.
Hey, when Andy Dalton plays like he has the last several weeks, for me, this is a Super Bowl contender, no doubt about it. Defensively, they allow 18 points a game. Under Mike Zimmer, they're a top 5 defense. And offensively, their skill position people are scary. A.J. Green is as good as any wide receiver in the league, not named Calvin Johnson. Right. And the bottom line for me is what Marvin Lewis told us last night. Andy Dalton's got to trust these guys enough that he lets them throw it up there and let them go get it.
Well, speaking of a guy that threw it up there and threw it well the first 3 weeks of the season, Ryan Tannehill, a 3-0 start, 4 straight losses now, though, and the wheels are kind of wobbling on the Dolphin wagon.
You got to protect the football, and you got to protect your quarterback. Now, Ryan Tannehill has been under siege. He's been hit and sacked more than any quarterback in the league, and as a result, he's turned the football over 14 times. So what do? I think first and foremost, you have to be patient with your run game. I think secondly, you got to move the pocket. I think more draws and screens. And finally, Ryan, use your own athletic ability. Either the ball comes out or you come out.
Well, he's going to have a little protection problem maybe tonight because he's missing one of the guys on the front wall. With more on that, here's Alex Flanagan.
Yeah, Brad and Mike, kind of an odd situation taking place here in Miami this week. Right tackle Jonathan Martin abruptly left the team facility earlier this week because of personal issues. He's apparently at home tonight with his family, so he will not play in tonight's game. Because of privacy reasons and a desire to focus on tonight's game, the Miami Dolphins have not commented on the situation at all. They won't get any details at all about his situation except to say that right tackle Tyson Clabo will be starting in his place. And Brad and Mike, I guess we can expect against this Cincinnati pass rush that they will maybe do some things scheme-wise to keep their quarterback upright.
It's going to be a key ingredient tonight, Alex, for sure. Cincinnati won the toss and deferred. The Dolphins will handle it first. Mike Nugent's got it teed up. And our Halloween edition of Thursday Night Football is underway. And it'll be the Dolphins and Tannehill coming out on the touchback to the 20-yard line. Ryan, second-year player out of Texas A&M. 24 straight start. And as Mike said, all the turnovers the Dolphins have been his problem.
Brad, watching tape of this team, their offensive line has been collapsed all season long, especially both tackles. The kid at quarterback has taken a beating.
They start off with an eye backfield, and they give it to the tail. And a nice opening run by Lamar Miller. Picks up 5. First series this year, the Dolphins have been sparse in scoring. And the Bengals defense has only allowed 1 touchdown in the last 24 games on the opening drive of the football game. But a good opening start for Lamar Miller. Brings up second down at 5. Tannehill in a pistol set here. And they'll try Miller again. They'll follow his blockers, and he does beautifully. After the 30-yard line, first down Miami. As we take a look at our difference makers for Miami tonight, and Lamar Miller's one of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of conversation about involving Mike Wallace in this offense, but most importantly, they've got to run the football. Lamar Miller, Daniel Thomas, I think the offensive coordinator, Mike Sherman, has to be patient, Brad. They've been in every game getting into the fourth quarter, and sometimes I think they've abandoned that run game too early.
And a lot of people think they did that last week against the Patriots. Empty set here as Thigpen's in as an extra receiver. And Tannehill in the gun. Quick throw to the outside is too far for Thigpen. Incomplete. Difference makers defensively for Cincinnati, and they've got a heck of a defense.
You know, for me, Geno Atkins, one of the quickest and most explosive interior defensive linemen in football, already has 5 sacks. And how about the collegiate free agent from a year ago, Vontaze Burfict, unofficially 106 tackles and a sack. He's one of the most active linebackers in football.
That's after 174 to lead the club a year ago. So second down at 10. Go. Extra lineman in there for the Dolphins as Tannehill's in trouble, and there he goes down and on cue, Geno Atkins.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way Richie Incognito, the left guard, can handle him one-on-one. This matchup right here is a loss for Miami. Watch how quickly, boom, inside, and it's over. Incognito looked like he was looking for help. I don't know if he thought Pouncey was going to help him or not, but that's sack number 6. Former 4th-round pick Geno Atkins. He is so much fun to watch because of his quickness.
And Mike, they went from a first down at the 30 to a 3rd down at 18. Exactly what they didn't want to do after 2 successful runs.
Draw or screen right here.
Here comes the screen to Lamar Miller. But not enough blocking. Got 5 back, and the Dolphins will have to punt. And Atkins was in on the tackle again.
And I've got no problem with that, right? I mean, they've played extremely well to get the games into the second half. Brad, you mentioned last week against New England. They got away from the run game, and it was still a 20-17 ball game.
Brandon Fields averaging almost 49 yards a kick. And Brandon Tate waits on the other end. Brandon to Brandon and the punting situation. Tate will take at the 22. Cuts to the far sideline. Got a decent return out to about the 33-yard line. Chris Clemens ran him out. 52-yard kick and an 11-yard return. When we return to South Florida, it'll be the Bengals and their high-powered offense. Battlefield here is Sun Life Stadium. The Bengals on offense for the first time tonight. Andy Dalton and company working from their own 33-yard line. And Jarvis Green Ellis, the tailback, will get the call. And he's got a nice run out to the 38-yard line. Pickup of 6. Andy Dalton, there hasn't been anybody, I guess, south of Peyton Manning has been as hot as he has the last 3 games. 3 or more touchdowns. 11 in the last 3 weeks and 5 last week.
Yeah, and Brad, last year I felt like he was too hesitant to try and fit the ball in there. This year, with all the weapons, he's letting those guys go make plays, and he's a different-looking quarterback to me.
Second down and 4 as he changes things at the line. And they'll keep it on the ground. It'll be close to a first down, about a yard shy for Green Ellis. Randy Starks made the tackle. So we check the Bengals and their difference makers tonight.
Really hard to pick them, Brad. I mean, they've got 6 skill position guys with over 24 catches. A.J. Green is all-world. Marvin Jones, very quietly becoming a quality player. The last 3 weeks, he's got 15 catches for 6 touchdowns.
4 of those touchdowns came last week on 3rd and short. And the Dolphins, well, they had him momentarily. I don't know forward progress, how close it's going to be. I think about a foot or 2 shy.
Yeah, Tyler Eifert struggled a little bit at the point of attack, getting any push.
You see him bounce off and spin, but
Grimes did a great job with the initial contact, but he's only 190 pounds.
Soaking wet.
Yeah, and he's a tough kid. I love Grimes.
So they bring out the sticks to see if Jarvis Green Ellis got the first down. I think it's about a foot shy, but we'll wait and see.
You're usually point on.
Yep. It is Halloween. Things could get spooky before it's over. That's
1 foot.
2 foot. So the Dolphins defense holds, and the Bengals will have to punt.
And that's a big stop. And it goes back to throwing screen pass on 3rd and 20. Punt the football and go play some defense.
Marcus Thigpen back deep. Kevin Huber will punt. Thigpen hasn't done much as a punt returner so far this year. Nice kick. Big Ben has to call fair catch and way back at about the 7-yard line. So the Dolphins are going to be in a bit of a hole for their second offensive possession when we come back. 10:29 remaining first quarter. Happy Halloween. Trick or treat from Miami. Some of our crew and their kids in full regalia.
That's awesome.
And the Dolphins have done pretty well when they played on Halloween night. In fact, perfect on Halloween. 5-0. Not a perfect place to start offensively, though. Their own 8-yard line.
28! Go, go!
Miller. Again, a good run. Follows his blockers off the left side for 5 more. So he's got 3 carries, and he's had 5 yards on each of them.
And they're using an atypical tight end, fullback in Michael Agnew, who's 6'5", when they need to run the football. Most fullbacks' nests are 5'11", muscle-bound, 260. This kid's a tight end, number 84 right there. He's 6'5". It's hard to get underneath and get leverage, but he did a great job on that last snap at getting out on Vontaze Burfict.
He's the lead down here as well. And on the draw, Miller pops through there and should have another first down. Michael Johnson hit him, but he got 6. And so a great start to the running game, just like last week for Miami.
Yeah, they double-team the nose tackle, Pekka, who I think is as good as any nose in the entire football against the rush. There's the pass set, and then 2 guys get on him. Nice hole there. Michael Johnson has to fall back inside, and yes, they're running the football.
Keep running it.
Shorten this game.
They're going to keep running it. A cutback this time, and a good one by Miller. Had the blockers out front and then saw a little crease out of his right eye and cut back that way and got 6 more.
You know, Mike Sherman, the offensive coordinator, has been under a little bit of fire locally in Miami for not being patient with the run game. And you know, in my opinion, the last couple of weeks against New England, against Buffalo, they get the game into the fourth quarter. It's competitive. It's plus or minus a field goal or a touchdown, and they've gotten away from the run game. And I think they really have to be patient tonight.
Now they've got Daniel Thomas in there. 3 wideouts for Tannehill on 2nd down and 4. There's that big tight end fullback on the move. Blitz coming. Thomas trying to run through it. And he's close to the first down, about a yard shy.
You notice where the chains are. It's 3rd and about 1 now.
And that's a lot better than 3rd down and 18.
Yeah, I mean, that first series, all of a sudden they go empty backfield and try and throw the football, inviting a sack.
They bring the extra lineman in here on 3rd down and 1. Dolphins a 39% team on 3rd down conversions.
Now, here's where I wouldn't mind taking a shot. Heavy play action fake, and you got a one-on-one with Mike Wallace out wide. I just think you can take a shot. I don't think they will.
Dancing in the hole, and it's not going to be good enough for Thomas. Vincent Ray, the inside linebacker, in on the stop. And just when they looked like they had another good drive going, they come up short, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, keep in mind, Vincent Ray's a 3rd-year player out of Duke. This is his first start. Ray Maluga is out. Ray will be the starting Mike or inside linebacker along with their starting nickel linebacker. It's a lot to ask a kid to do in his first start in the NFL.
So Fields set to punt again this time. Adam Jones is back deep.
Bad punt.
And Jones has to get out of the way. It's going to take a great roll, though. Going to look really good in the stat sheet as a good punt instead of a bad one. Right? It goes down to the 14-yard line. In fact, 58 yards on the punt. Andy Dalton's been red hot. He's got great weapons all around him. We'll see some of those when we come back. Randall Cunningham was the ultimate weapon, but lost his passion for the game. He then reinvented himself as a quarterback and as a man. It's an all-new A Football Life, Randall Cunningham's Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, only on NFL Network. Imagine had they put the zone read in for Randall Cunningham.
He was a walking highlight reel.
Yes, he was. Not great field position for the Bengals here, their own 14-yard line. Play action, wide out screen, A.J. Green. Got a block. Got about 7 before they track him down. Koamisa made the stop. A.J. came in with 46 catches. That's his first one of the night.
Yeah, and they motion him out, Brad. Now look at the throw, and here comes Collins, the left tackle, gets a block. He cuts inside Sanu, who gets a piece. That's a nice way to get your talented wideout involved in the game early.
And a pickup at 7, second down and 3. Green Ellis, first down run. Oh, they're having a hard time bringing him down all the way out near the 29-yard line.
Yeah, this is a classic zone run play, and I really like what the former first-round pick. Everybody's going this way, but watch Zeitler get up to the second level. Inside zone, gets on the nose, now out on the linebacker, second level. Do a little better job with your feet, and it might be a bigger play. But look at Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis.
He doesn't get big gains. He's only got one run of 15 yards or more, but he will get you some tough ones.
Yeah, and the compliment with Gio Bernard is beautiful.
Play fake. Dalton wanted to go deep. Now he's in trouble. He's going to get what he can and get down. Colomisa made sure he stayed down.
Yeah, Olivier Vernon did a nice job, and Tyler Eifert kind of missed the block there. You know, when they bring Tyler Eifert in motion, he's got to make the block. Okay, he's coming over here, and here's Vernon. You got to cut him off. You can't get beat inside. That's the only place you can't get beat. Good athletic ability by Dalton to get out.
You mentioned Giovanni Bernard, the rookie. He's in there flanking Dalton right now on second down at 7. Excellent receiver out of the backfield. The rookie out of North Carolina. Quick throw. Complete, but a short game. Eifert makes a catch, only a pickup of 4. And it's going to bring up third down and 4.
They add Eifert in the first round. They get Bernard in the second round, effectively changing the philosophy of who they are offensively. And you mentioned Bernard. He had two touchdown catches already this season, Brad, both on simple little checkdowns.
You look back at the Bengals drafts the last 4 years. They've got a lot of weapons and a lot of good players in the last 4 years. Here's third down and 4. Dalton. Pressured, lost the ball. The Dolphins are on it. Cameron Wake hit his hand and he covered it. Penalty markers down, but I think it's going to be holding anyway.
Yeah, Wake only played 33 snaps a week ago. When he has his explosion and his quickness, he's tough to beat. Watch Andre Smith try and kick slide out to him. Wake too quick. Good get off. Now watch him drop his pad level, fight through, get the left hand on the football. The awareness of where that football is awesome. Look at that.
The strip and the recovery.
Yeah, man,
nice
that's
play.
Fun, isn't that?
Yeah. And it sets the Dolphins up at the 25-yard line of Cincinnati.
72 is eligible. 72.
They've got a third tackle in the game right now. Number 72, Will Yateman.
That's about the 5th play. They've done that tonight.
Yep.
To set up the run. And straight up the middle goes Thomas to the 21. First lost fumble in a month.
And the quickest way to lose a football game when you're a heavy favorite is to start putting the ball on the ground.
Second down at 6. Miami at the 21-yard line.
I'd be alert for Charles Clay pretty soon. Here he is in the slot. They move him everywhere. Very safe, secure option for the quarterback.
Tannehill in the shotgun. Looking right, going that way. Into some coverage, incomplete. Intended for Rashard Matthews.
So, Brad, they've been in empty set twice tonight. And I think they liked it because they got some production out of it last week against New England. But the first one was a sack. The second one, he threw it into heavy coverage on a pass that couldn't be completed. I know you've got to show some diversity, but you had second and about 6. And I would have much rather see you stay with the run game.
They won't here. Again, empty set, Tannehill.
They're showing double A-gap pressure. This is Cincinnati's favorite pressure, and they drop out.
The quick throw, complete. I don't know if it's going to be enough for the first down, though. Lamar Miller looks to be a yard shy. Reggie Nelson made the stop, along with Ray, the linebacker, and now it's 4th down and a yard.
What are you going to do, Joe? Yeah, I would kick it.
2 out of 5 on the year, and to a chorus of boos, here comes the field goal unit. Caleb Sturgis, and he has not been automatic. He had a great start to his rookie year. He's only hit 1 of his last 5.
Yeah, 2 of them were over 50 and 1 was blocked, but entire season they've been a little soft in the middle.
34-yard field goal attempts. He missed another one.
Oh,
wide left. Wow. There goes a golden opportunity. Fans not liking it. Dalton's fumble isn't going to cost Cincinnati anything, as the field goal is wide left. Can't miss 34-yard field goals and stay in ball games. That's what Sturgis, a rookie out of Florida, just did. And it gives the Dolphins the ball back at the 24. The Bengals the ball back at the 24.
And when you draft a kicker, you better be money.
Dalton now in the shotgun to throw on first down. Quick slants and caught by Marvin Jones, who had the big game last week with 4 touchdown receptions. Picks up 8 on his first catch of the night.
Big body wideout, 6'2", 195. I think he's tougher than people think. He gets inside on Patterson. That's a good catch because Patterson gets his hand on the football. Nice job bringing that in.
Bernard, the rookie, still hasn't touched it. He's in the backfield with Dalton. He's touched it now, and he's got a first down and quite a bit more out to the 40-yard line. This guy's a little different and kind of special, I think. The makings of being a special player, Mike.
I agree with you, Brad. And that's too easy in the run game. That time, watch Clint Bowling get untouched out on this linebacker. And their 2 linebackers, Ellerbe and Wheeler, don't like head-on-head contact like that. They like to run around blocks. If you get a clean, big body on them, there's a problem.
First down, Cincinnati at his own 39-yard line. Blitz off the corner. Quick throw and incomplete. Broken out by Dannell Ellerbe.
And that's where the linebackers are a little bit better in Miami. They're not good with big bodies in the run game, but Ellerbe and Wheeler are very good in the pass game. They went out and signed them to big money contracts, let Dansby and Kevin Burnett go. They got younger and faster, but I'm not sure they got better.
Got Wheeler as a free agent from Oakland, Ellerbe from the Ravens. Here's a draw play, and a nice job reading that. Olivier Vernon makes the stop for no gain.
Yeah, Vernon beat up the left tackle there, Anthony Collins, who's in for Whitworth, who couldn't play tonight. That's a big loss in the run game. Whitworth out, Anthony Collins in.
There's Whitworth, all 335 pounds of him out of LSU. 3rd and long.
Okay, they got to decide what they want to do here. You've got A.J. Green at the bottom of the screen. Right now, there's no help, and Grimes is playing off.
And Hawkins in the lineup for the first time, just activated today as the 3rd wideout. Andy Dalton fires complete, and it's A.J. Green, easy pitch and catch for the first down.
This is a tough challenge. As much as I like Brent Grimes, he's 5'9". He prefers off man. And when you've got a guy that runs 4.35, stepping on your toes, you got to open your hips and get out. And when he opened his hips and tried to change direction, he slipped and fell down. Dalton wanted him the whole way.
And got him down to the 44-yard line. So the Bengals in Dolphins territory.
The problem with doubling A.J. Green is all the other weapons they have. And Dalton's done a good job of identifying them when he's doubled up.
Including those tight ends. He'll throw on first down. And his receiver slipped this time. Marvin Jones on his cut. Lost his footing a little bit. Demetri Patterson was covering.
You mentioned the 2 tight ends. Eifert coming back in. When they have Eifert and Gresham in the game, it's difficult for the defense because they come out of the huddle. They could be in a too tight set, or they could go wide like they are now. So they can go big, or they can go big skill outside, and it presents a problem for the defense.
Both set on the same side right now. Second down and 10. And what should be the final play of the first quarter. Dalton over the middle. Sails one, and it was almost picked off. And we do have one more play left before the end of one.
You know, I think pre-snap, there's 3 to the front side here, and it's man-to-man back here. I think the read is to come down here pre-snap. You got one-on-one, no help. Wide receiver on Grimes. He chooses to go with his tight end, and I think that was a bad read.
8th play of the Cincinnati drive. Third down and 10 at the Miami 44-yard line. Dalton deep drop this time. Deep middle this time, and a first down throw. Got it to A.J. Green to end the quarter. On 3rd and 10, they pick up 18 yards to number 18. We played one here in Miami. The Dolphins and the Bengals, no score. Set to start the second quarter. Thursday Night Football here on Halloween night. Brad Nessler, Mike Mayock, Alex Flanagan, and our NFL Network crew from South Florida. So the Bengals are in the 9-play drive right now at the 26-yard line. Little counter. Oh, what a spin move by Bernard. And he gets down inside the 20-yard line. So there's the dimension that this kid adds that Green Ellis doesn't have. Green Ellis, as you always tell me, you block for 4, he'll get you 4.
Yep.
This kid could break one for 30.
Yeah, and you saw him break the ankles right there of Ellerby. I mean, in the hole, all of a sudden a spin move, make you miss. He catches the football on checkdowns and scores. It's a completely different dimension when he's in a game of tailback.
And he's a great receiver out of the backfield as well. Here's a quick throw, completes, and a first down to Sanu. And so the Bengals keep driving here. Game summary to this point. Ryan Tannehill, 33rd time he's hit the deck. Sturgis missed a 34-yard field goal. He's only one of his last 6. A.J. Green's had a good start. And Cincinnati with a first down at the Miami 15. Three-step drop, throw over the middle of Bernard. He got planted after he got about a yard. Ellerby on the tackle.
Good job by Dalton. He wanted the slant. Patterson jumped it, and he just checked it down. And if you check it down to Bernard enough times, he's going to make a play for you.
He had one against Buffalo that he left 2 guys in his wake on the way to the end zone.
And the one against Pittsburgh, he just took away everybody's angles and exploded into the end zone. He's really fun.
Good looking drive for Cincinnati. Second down and 8. Dalton fires on a crossing route. A.J. Green. And Green's going to be a couple yards shy of the first down. That's his 4th catch here in the first half.
You know, what they're trying to do there is take Tyler Eifert, again, a very athletic tight end. And Eifert is here, and he's going to do a little double move. Hitch and go. Effectively clearing out the area for this guy who's going to come under. Hitch and go up top. It's not there. Good read by Dalton. Just check it down to your best football player. I like it.
Dalton on this drive, a couple of third down passes have both gone to A.J. Green. A bunch set to the left of Andy Dalton on 3rd down and 3. Flushed out of the pocket, looking to throw on the run, and he's going to hit the deck. Great job by the Dolphins defense. You can give that sack to the secondary. I think Odrick is the guy that got him.
And he wanted Jermaine Gresham the whole way, and Gresham's going to get bracketed by 2 people. There it is right there. Inside Chris Clemens, the linebacker, 52, as you see. Wheeler on the other side. Really nice job defensively, and you know what? Dalton's fine. Get down and kick the field goal.
And if you're Mike Nugent, you want to make the field goal. This one's a 31-yard attempt. Trying to get on the scoreboard first. Cincinnati will. So they had a long drive, a good-looking drive, but credit the Miami defense coming up with the stop when they needed it. First score of the ball game. Cincinnati by field goal. Sunday, As Game Day, NFL Network gets you started 7 o'clock with Game Day first. And Game Day morning follows at 9. The highlights at 7:30. And then following Sunday Night Football, Game Day final. Set your clocks, but remember to set them back. You get an extra hour of sleep before you get up at 7 Eastern on NFL Network. Nugent just kicked the field goal with the kickoff. Big Pin catches it 8 yards deep. Will take a knee. And the Dolphins will come out to the 20-yard line. Well, you don't want to anger the guy in the middle. That's the Hulk, the fake Hulk on the right, the real Hulk Hogan on the left here on Halloween night. There's a lot of folks that have been couch gating for several hours before the game tonight. That's the real Hulk Hogan. That is not a costume, but it is a bright lime green that the Hulkster is wearing tonight. Hulkamania running wild here at Sun Life Stadium tonight. First down, Miami on its own 20. Tannehill, quick slants and broken up, intended for Mike Wallace. And let's check in with Alex.
So, Brad, if you watch the left side of this Dolphins offensive line, you'll see them in constant communication. Remember, Bryant McKinney just came to this team 10 days ago in a trade from the Baltimore Ravens, and he's still learning the playbook. So it's been up to Richie Incognito to help him out. And I think Richie's the guy that we see down there on the field right now. And hopefully that's not a severe injury to him. But just to finish up on this storyline, it's been Richie that's really getting Bryant McKinney up to speed on this. And you guys, if he goes out of this game, their offensive line would be really hurting, Brad.
Right now, Bryant McKinney is going, now what do I do? Incognito going out, timeout. Richie Incognito working that neck right now, and so are the doctors and trainers over there on the sideline. So he goes out, and Nate Garner, he is in at left guard, and hopefully he knows what to tell Bryant McKinney, as Alex just gave that report about the communication on that side of the line. They're going to run that way, and a nice run by Lamar Miller. Perfect takes him out of bounds, but he got 10.
And I like the call. I don't care that it's 2nd and 10. Watch what happens. Pouncey is going to come out and get in front of this thing. Garner does a good job at the point. Pouncey gets a chip and out, and then a nice cut by Miller to get outside. And you don't want to put Nate Garner, the new left guard, in a position where he's got to pass protect on the first snap. So I like the call, and a really good cut by Lamar Miller.
So Miller, his first 4 times he handled it, had 5 yards or more, 10 yards on that one. And a first down at the 30.
Go!
They faked the stretch. Boy, he had to get rid of that in a hurry, and he got it with a big tight end, Agnew. Ryan Tannehill turned around and saw a Bengal right in his face, but he got it out of there in a hurry.
Yeah, James Harrison did a great job staying home. Watch him stay home even though the run fake goes the other way. Tannehill gets the head on a swivel and does, as you said, an excellent job of getting rid of the football. And this is who they have to be, Brad. You know, they're not a chunk team. They're not getting the ball down vertically down the field in the pass game. They struggle with run chunks. They have to be patient.
Go!
Bengals showing blitz off the corner. They're going to bring it. They'll come the other way with a throw to Wallace. And Wallace will be dragged down after a pickup of 5. Carlos Dunlap, the defensive end, got out there to make the hit.
A lot of talk in Miami this week about Michael Wallace. What's wrong with Michael Wallace? That's all you hear about down here. And I would say 2 things. Number 1, the pass protection's been awful. To get the football down the field vertically, it takes time. And number 2, remember, he's coming from Pittsburgh, where he's used to Ben Roethlisberger, who extends the play better than any quarterback I've ever seen. So if he doesn't win early, Big Ben got it to him late. Here it's a completely different snapshot.
And he still talks glowingly about Big Ben when you meet with him here in a different uniform. I think Lamar Miller stepped out of bounds, but if not, he's off to the races. Lamar Miller all the way down to the 10-yard line. Uh-oh. Ball is out, and it's coming the other way. I'm still not sure he wasn't out of bounds. Adam Jones all the way out to the 41-yard line. What a crazy play.
Yeah, we got a lot of things to figure out here. First and foremost, John Jerry did a heck of a job pulling out and getting on perfect. Now watch his feet here. There's the strip. The ball's that clearly out. Really nice job by Dunlop hustling down the field and stripping it. So that's clearly a fumble and a Bengal recovery, as long as he didn't step out of bounds earlier in the play.
Well, nobody's looking at that. Right there is where I thought he stepped out of bounds. He stayed in.
Absolutely.
Great shot by our camera guys. And so a big run's negated by a fumble.
Yeah, and Lamar Miller did everything exceptionally well except the most important thing, and that's hang on to the football.
Green Ellis hit in the backfield, still got a yard or two out of it. Koamisi made first contact and got help from his friends.
I mean, one of my issues with Lamar Miller coming out of college at Miami was not talent-wise. It was he was nicked up a lot, and he put the ball on the ground a lot. Daniel Thomas, the backup tailback, also talented, but he puts the ball on the ground.
Second fumble recovery of the year by Adam Jones. And the return out to the 41. And now the line of scrimmage to 42. We're at 2nd down and 9. Empty backfield for Andy Dalton. Fires near side, complete. And Eifert, the rookie tight end, with a catch.
He did a nice job just kind of using that big body, bouncing himself off Koamisi.
You saw a lot of him at Notre Dame over the last few years.
Yeah, I know him pretty well, and he's about as gifted and up-the-field receiver as a tight end can be. He's got to work on his point of attack, blocking a little bit, but boy, he's a danger in the pass game, and here he is one-on-one down here with a safety.
Going to be in motion toward the ball on 3rd down and 3. Dalton, the far sideline. And A.J. Green looked like he just spit it out over there. He had Brent Grimes turned around, and that will not happen very often.
You know, A.J. Green, again, one of the best 2 or 3 wide receivers in football, no matter how you cut it. Last week he had over 100 yards, but 2 drops. And here he is this week. Easy play. I mean, he's a guy that every once in a while, Brad, drops an easy ball. You go, why? Because he makes some of the most breathtaking catches you'll ever see.
You look behind Kevin Huber to punt. Marcus Thigpen waits back near the 10-yard line.
And that's like a turnover. Instead of a first down, you're punting the football.
Huber hits this one a mile in the air. And it goes out of bounds. See where they spot it. I think it's inside the 10. It is. Nice kick out at the 7-yard line. AJ, that won't happen very often. That's some of the tricks of Halloween night here in Miami. Deal for AJ Green to drop a pass because, as you said, the kind of stuff he does, you can't teach.
People want to know why he's so good. His ability to separate, get the corner to open his hips. Now use your hands to pull through and your 4.35 speed to make an easy throw for Dalton. I'm not sure I've ever seen it. Look, he looks back, finds the football, subtly adjusts his route and looks away. Now he stacks Cromartie on his back, slows down, and catches the football away from his body. Brad, I'm not sure I've ever seen a receiver look away from a deep pass like that, just automatic. He looked like a center fielder.
Yep.
Except, of course, a center fielder doesn't have another person trying to keep him from catching the ball.
Exactly. Second time the Dolphins have had to start inside their own 10. And popping out to the 12 is Daniel Thomas. Pickup of 6. We approach the 8-minute mark of the first half. Low-scoring game. Bengals with a field goal. Miami missed one from 34 yards. And Adam Jones, who's not only got a fumble recovery tonight, but has been involved in several tackles, and I think he's shaken up a little bit.
So that means that Drake Patrick, the first-round pick from a year ago, is in the game.
Second-round player out of Alabama. Here's Thomas. Going to get cut down before he can get to the first down. He'll pick up 3. Loka, the safety, in on the stop. Oh, it's a contact situation.
Okay, good.
When you're hurrying, trying to put contacts in, it never works. It's going to be at least a 2-play contact situation.
Okay. I'll trust you on that one.
Well, see, it fell on the ground. It's just not working right now. 3rd down and a yard for Miami. Agnew, the tight end, on the move. Straight up the middle they run it, and it's Charles Clay out to the 30, first down with a flag down at the line of scrimmage. You talked about how they line him up in a lot of different spots.
Everywhere.
Fullback, H-back, wide out, slot, tight end.
Here it's one back tailback.
Offside, number 93 defense. Penalties decline. First down.
Now, going to watch him here in fullback position. 3rd and 1. And Clay lines up everywhere. Here's a wind back. Good job on the left-hand side. They get the blocks necessary. Bryant McKinney does a nice job at the point of attack. Clay just runs over Kirkpatrick. You know, Ness, I saw him play in college at Tulsa, and Tulsa did the same thing. And the guy caught over 200 career catches and also ran for about 1,000 yards. Talented kid.
His last run, that's on the first down at the 29. Now they go back to the tailback. Daniel Thomas pick up a 3. So the one thing the Dolphins have done well tonight is run the football. And same story from a week ago.
And what was the formula we talked about? Stay patient with the run game, move the pocket a little bit, draw screen, and I, you know, if their tailback Lamar Miller doesn't put it on the ground, they're close to the end zone and a touchdown on that last drive.
Mike Sherman in the middle there, the offensive coordinator. Blitz coming from the Bengals. Play action. They might want a long one here. Tannehill got rid of it and got his man. Mike Wallace on the run. Wallace inside the 40. They're trying to track him down. He's going to go all the way inside the 30-yard line. And there's the big play. Tannehill to Wallace.
And what I like, it's play action, max protection that gives the quarterback a little bit of time. So here comes blitz. Harrison's coming. Now watch him climb the pocket. Excellent job. And what I like from the receiver perspective is he sells vertical. Newman's got a turn. That's about the 4th time I've seen a corner slip on the break. But a well-thrown ball and a well-conceived play.
We should mention about a half an hour before the game, we did have a shower here. And so some of that slipping might be attributed to that. They fake the end around. They go straight up the middle. And Daniel Thomas, another good run down to the 22. Let's check in with Alex.
So, Brad, the Dolphins' offensive line doing surprisingly well, being down 2 starters. Richie Incognito sitting on the sideline now with a baseball cap on his head. It doesn't look like he's going back in anytime soon, but the team is officially saying that his return is questionable because of a neck injury.
Unless you're a quarterback, putting that cap on isn't a good sign.
And all 6 of their eligible players have been in the game most of this drive. Not on this one, but Will Yateman has been in the game. They're trying to pound the football.
2nd down and 4. They'll try to pound it some more. Lamar Miller close to the first down, about a yard shy.
Stay ahead of the chains, right?
Yep.
John Jerry did a good job on the backside, allowing Miller to cut in behind them.
Oh boy, do we have another lineman down? Oh, it's this time Geno Atkins.
Oh boy.
One of the best around. Last year, first team All-Pro. He had 12.5 sacks. Part of that great front wall for Cincinnati. And right now, Geno Atkins getting helped off the field by some of his teammates. Got tangled up on that last play. Lamar Miller sort of landed on the back of his knees or maybe his hip. Has a sack already tonight. His dad, Gene Atkins, 10-year NFL veteran, played right here in Miami, in fact. So that takes a big impact player away from their defensive front. 3rd down and a yard, Miami. Play action on the roll. Tannehill looking to throw. Fires complete. First down. And it goes to Daniel Thomas, the guy he faked it to.
Hey, that's all about the quarterback there, Tannehill.
Here's the previous play. And Atkins right there on the bottom of that pile. Kind of tough to see. Got twisted around before Miller landed on him.
Let's go, get set.
Dolphins, their best drive. 9th play coming up at the 15-yard line. Weaving his way inside with another good run is Daniel Thomas. Didn't look like it was going to be much, and it ended up being 5 yards.
Yeah, and Garner, who's in right now. There goes Atkins. Hate to see that. Garner at left guard. Watch him on Pecco, one of the best run-stuffing defensive tackles in the league. Gets under him, gets a little bit of movement, which is all they need, and a good job by Daniel Thomas squaring the pad level, getting low.
Thomas and Thigpen in. Thigpen goes out as a wide receiver to the top of your screen. On 2nd down and 5, they can get a 1st and goal at the 5. That's Thigpen in motion. Thomas straight up the middle. Down to the 1. 1st and goal, Miami.
A nice double team on Pecco. Get Pecco right here on the double. That's who you have to take care of in the run game. Jerry gets up to the second level. Really good block by Clay.
Dolphins go hurry up. Tannehill trying to sneak it over. And he got it. Touchdown, Dolphins.
Nice job on the hurry up.
Looked a little like Matthew Stafford at the end of the Lions game last week.
Yeah, they quick snapped this thing. Cincinnati hustling to get ready. Extends the football clearly over the plane. That always makes me nervous.
Dolphins with a lead at home with 2:39 remaining in the half. Caleb Sturgis in for the point after. Up and good. What a drive. Started inside their own 10-yard line. 11 plays, 93 yards. The quarterback takes it for the final one. 7-3 Miami.
Minnesota does this weekend with the quarterback situation.
Yeah, we're not gonna know till at least tomorrow, I guess.
John Sullivan, the offensive lineman, came out in support. Said he really wanted Christian Ponder because of the work he did and how he finished up the game last week.
Tate will field it 9 yards deep and take a knee. So the division-leading Bengals find themselves trailing here 7-3.
A little confusion here. Watch the quick snap. Bengals trying to get lined up in the right place. Vinny Ray, 57, not sure where to go. He comes in late, and a nice job by Mike Sherman and Ryan Tannehill going with the quick snap and scoring.
I'm not telling Vincent Ray how to play middle linebacker, but if you've got a quarterback that big, I'd want to be in the middle of the field where he was going to take the snap.
Right.
That's just me.
Good shoot out.
Bengals from the 20. Have all their timeouts and a 2-minute warning to work with. Blitz coming. Dalton incomplete. A.J. Green looking for a flag. Not going to get it. Nice coverage by Brent Grimes.
Brent Grimes from Shippensburg University, right? I mean, they call it the Ship. This kid's 5'9". Nobody liked him. Northeast Philadelphia kid. You want to talk about feisty, quick, and tough? That's Brent Grimes.
You know, before he got hurt, the Achilles last year when he was with the Falcons, the previous 2 years with Atlanta, he had 11 interceptions in those 2 years and went to the Pro Bowl.
Really, really. A lot of people think he's better off inside. I think he competes pretty well outside.
2nd down and 10. Dalton. This one's popped out of there as well. The tight end dropped that one, and Ellerby made sure he did. And now the Bengals find themselves having just taken a couple of seconds off the clock and a 3rd down and 10. Miami's thinking about getting the ball back right now.
Yeah, I mean, how many drops are we going to see tonight? Good job by Ellerby getting underneath, but that football is put exactly where it's supposed to be. We saw A.J. Green on a 3rd down where they punted the football, and then Cincinnati went 93 yards. Another drop in a key situation.
Both the 3rd and 10s tonight. The Bengals have converted. Will they get another one? Long ball, sideline. Yes, they will. Marvin Jones diving catch. 1st down, Cincinnati. Pickup of 26 on 3rd and 10.
Yeah, and it's kind of a natural pick out wide to get him open.
Ooh. Did that ball hit the ground?
I think it hit the ground, but I think he controlled it all the way through. Remember, the ball can hit the ground. The question is whether or not it's loose. And if I'm Cincinnati, I'm snapping it real quick, Andy Dalton.
I think he's trying to. If he can get his lineman aligned and see. They waited too long.
Remember where we are in the game here.
Well, that's a 2-minute warning. They might still take a look at that while we're away. With 2 minutes left in the half. Miami in front. Here's the last play by Marvin Jones before the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, I think the right arm, even though the ball hits, I think the right arm cradles it the whole way, and he had full control.
The ball didn't move off that inner arm, so 1st down. Cincinnati at the 46-yard line, trying to score here before halftime. Shovel pass. Bernard gets into Miami territory down around the 47-yard line. So again, Bengals have all their timeouts.
Yeah, creative ways. Watch 65. Clint Bowling pull out, kicks out Cameron Wake. Creative ways to get touches for Gio Bernard.
A.J. Green comes down to the bottom of your screen on 2nd down and 3. Plenty of time for Cincinnati to work here with 90 seconds left. And the throw down the sideline is over Green's head. And out of bounds, incomplete. Dimitri Patterson back there covering.
Yeah, there's some pretty good push inside on the Bengal guards. Remember, Randy Starks, Jared Odrick are big, strong, and very quick. And that time they got some significant push on the left guard, Clint Bowling, and he had to get rid of the football early.
Big third down here for Cincinnati. And an even bigger third down for the Dolphins defense.
You got to block those two guys in the middle of the line.
Here comes a blitz. Dalton. The fade down the sidelines over Sanzenbacher's head as well. Flag late in the play.
Well, that pocket collapsed.
I don't know if this ball's catchable, is it?
No, I didn't think it was when it came out of his hand.
And they're picking it up.
Yeah, that's a good call.
There is no foul for pass interference. Fourth down.
They're struggling, Brad, protecting their quarterback to get the ball down the field. Watch out here. Here comes Wake. He's going to abuse Gresham. From the other side, they got pressure coming right up the middle, and also Olivier Vernon. Good no call at the end, but they got to protect their guy here, or this is going to be a long night.
Yeah, Andy got whacked on that one.
Yep.
Huber's had 2 punts tonight that have gone inside the 10-yard line. He'd like to do it again here with 1:21 remaining in the half. This one's going to go down around the 13 on the fair catch by Marcus Thigpen. Reminder, stay tuned to the end of the half for the Lexus halftime show. Rich and the guys standing by to bring you first half highlights and analysis. Plus, they'll talk about the 49ers activating Aldon Smith today. That's all coming up on the Lexus halftime show.
Good for Aldon Smith.
Hopefully he's got his situation all straightened out. There's Warren and Michael.
Michael's decked out tonight.
He
huh?
is.
Look at that.
I don't know what color that is, but it looks good on him.
I couldn't get away with that.
I don't think I could either.
Nah, let's be honest, right?
Maybe the tie. Maybe.
Go, go.
First down run, and this one's going nowhere. Lamar Miller knocked down by Denny Ray.
Got to be Cincinnati using a timeout, right?
And that'll be their first.
Dolphins have been using 3 tackles in the run game. All 6 of their eligible offensive linemen. And what it is just power football. That time McKinney sits on the defensive end. Clay does a great job running over Kirkpatrick. Again, little play action. They're going to get vertical, climb the pocket, gives them plenty of time to get it to Michael Wallace. I really like the game plan tonight, Brad, from Mike Sherman.
Just as you talked about it, Yateman comes back into the Dolphins huddle, so they'll have that full capacity on the offensive line. Hartline checked out, and the extra tackle in on the left side. Clay in motion, and the stretch play. Lamar Miller, no place to hide. Got about a yard, and just over a minute to play as we check in with Alex.
Brad, before the half comes to an end, just a quick update on Geno Atkins. He was taken to the locker room. You guys saw him getting carted off there. The team tells me that it's a right knee injury, and his return in this game is questionable. Again,
Second Pro Bowl for him last year. He had 12.5 sacks, which is the most for a defensive tackle in the last dozen years.
You know, it's interesting. I had a coach say to me tonight on the field before the game that outside edge rushers affect the pass game, but there are things you can do to take them out. You can chip them, you can put tight ends on, but interior rushers that get push immediately with quickness or strength are really difficult to deal with because they get in the quarterback's face so quickly, and that's what you lose when you lose a Geno Atkins.
And Tannehill knows all about pressure up the middle, being sacked more times than anybody in the NFL this year. Miller backpedals his way across the 20 out to the 22. 7-yard pickup. And that's James Harrison talking about edge rushers. Signed as a free agent after the all-pro years with the Steelers. And they're working on his left hand over there. So the Bengals used their last time out, forcing a 4th down situation, 4th and 2. Best first half in over 10 years for the Dolphins as far as their ground game. Now the question is, will they use it in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, a week ago, and let's face it, against New England, they're up 14 at halftime. And Lamar Miller had 16 carries for 89 at half, and they got away from it in the second half. This is a typical Miami game right now. They're running the ball real well, and they're leading the game.
Field set to punt. Brandon Tate would like to get a nice return out of this because there's still 55 seconds remaining before halftime.
This kid Fields has a big leg.
Bengals tried to get there with some pressure, and a flag flies in. They got too much pressure. Tate on the other end. Not going to matter. Whoa. And another flag.
Jeez.
Sean Williams on the block on Nolan Carroll down there on the other end. So we're going to have a roughing the punter penalty on one side, and then a defensive player penalty on the other end, I would guess. We'll wait and see.
Yeah. This is the hit they're trying, and you can see first it's almost blocked there.
There is no foul for running into the kicker.
We'll pick that one up.
Personal foul, blindside block, number 40 of the receiving team during the return. Half the distance to the goal, first down Cincinnati.
This is the hit they're trying to take out of special teams right there. In the old days, you went back to the bench and everybody high-fived you.
Because you ear-hold somebody.
Exactly. Now that hit's effectively out of the game.
So the penalty on Williams. The good news is Nolan Carroll walking off.
Yeah.
That's the first penalty of the ball game. Now we had a couple flags earlier. We had one declined. We had one picked up. So we're 45 seconds from halftime and the first accepted penalty of the football game.
Minimal penalties, but a lot of injuries tonight. Continuing a trend that we've seen so far this season.
The Bengals want to be comfortable here, Mike. 45 seconds and no timeouts left. Just get out of here, get to the locker room.
That would be, you might throw something underneath and see if a Gio Bernard or somebody can make a play. But you might throw something real deep, but I don't think you really want to take too many chances here. Put the ball on your own 14-yard line.
Remember, Dalton in the last 3 weeks has 11 touchdowns and no interceptions. He doesn't want to throw one here.
No.
They do have an empty backfield. There's the quick throw to Green. Got a block. And a first down. And out of bounds to 25. So still 39 seconds remaining.
A.J. Green's 5th catch of the evening for 57 yards, and of course he had the one big drop that cost him a first down.
This time he'll be in tight on the right side of Andy Dalton in the gun. Blitz coming. Dalton goes out complete to Andrew Hawkins, who was just activated today, and he makes a nice catch.
Nice to see him back. Third-year player out of Toledo, had over 50 catches last year and added a little different dimension for them in quickness. Also one of their best special teams players, especially as a gunner on the punt team.
Now if they could get a deep out or something here and get out of bounds, they might be able to take a crack at it before halftime. First down at the 35 with 33 remaining and no timeouts. Dalton, there's the out, but it's picked off by Dimitri Patterson. Dimitri was thinking what we were thinking.
And that's a decision that I just don't understand. The one thing you can't do if you're Andy Dalton is throw that ball inside. If you're going to miss, it's got to be outside, and it's just an incomplete pass. You cannot give Dimitri Patterson an opportunity to make a play.
You talk about how things swing. That's the 4th interception for Patterson, and now it's the Dolphins that have a chance to threaten with 28 seconds and all their timeouts remaining.
That's a Bengal coaching staff showing trust in a third-year quarterback, and just a really bad decision and a worse throw by Dalton.
Tannehill now in the shotgun. On first down inside the 40-yard line. Opportunity here for points before halftime for Miami. Blitz coming. Tannehill loads, fires complete inside the 30 to the 25 goes Mike Wallace.
Yeah, he identifies the 57 is the Mike, Vincent Ray, but then they bring safety pressure. So here's the Mike, but here comes the safety. They do a real nice job picking it up. The back goes one way, turns around, looks to help. Good job by John Jerry picking up the safety. Plenty of time to work it back outside to Wallace.
First down at the 24, and I would say the Dolphins are already in field goal range, but the way Sturgis has been kicking, I don't want to say that right now.
Yeah, the question is, do you take a shot?
Tannehill's hit his last 5.
And you've got single coverage on the outside.
Play fake. Wanting to go over the middle, and that's the last thing you want to do is take a sack, but they do have timeouts to work with as Wallace Gilberry with the sack.
Yeah, they go A-gap pressure. See right in here in the twist stunt inside. Margus Hunt, the rookie from SMU, ends up making a play. And with
.17 seconds remaining.
Yep.
Still 2 timeouts. But now with the sack, they're back at the 29-yard line. And if they gain no further ground, you're looking at a longer field goal for that guy whose confidence has got to be a little bit rattled right now.
How about Margus Hunt, 6'8", second-round pick from SMU by way of Estonia. His nickname in college was the Eastern Block because he blocked so many field goals. Came to this country as a track star. Discus, shot put, converted the football, and there's all kinds of upside for that kid.
Let's see if the Dolphins can get some of that yardage back with 18 seconds remaining. That's Clay in motion. Tannehill wants to throw that way, does, and it's Hartline's first catch of the night. And it's good for 12 yards.
I'm surprised they allowed them that unimpeded throw to the outside, knowing it had to be something out wide to Hartline like that. Nice job.
So they're inside the 20 at the 18 with the third down. Still 15 seconds, and still the good news, 2 timeouts. A lot of different things can happen here for Miami. Andy Dalton hoping his defense can take away his mistake, his first mistake in about a month with that interception. Third down and 3. Tannehill rolls, throws over the head of Daniel Thomas. And so now the field goal unit will come out with 11 seconds remaining. Remember, Caleb Sturgis had an easy one earlier in the ball game from 34 yards, and you watch our tracker, that one never had a shot. He's hit one of his last 6 after having a great start to his pro career, rookie out of Florida, and trying to give the Dolphins a 10-point lead at halftime. This will be a 36-yard attempt.
Got to figure his confidence has been shot over the last couple of weeks.
Sturgis from 36. That'll help him. Got it. So quite a change for Joe Philbin's Dolphins on that exchange. The interception led to 3 points. 10-3, the Dolphins in front. Reminder, coming up next week, RG3 and the Washington Redskins will be in Minneapolis against Adrian Peterson and the Vikings. I don't care about their records. When I get a chance to watch Adrian Peterson play football, I'll be there. You'll be there. Alex will be there. Hope you join us next Thursday.
Adrian Peterson, RG3. There's going to be some talent out there.
These 2 quarterbacks, one out of TCU, one out of Texas A&M, and you look around the National Football League, it starts back when you're playing 7-on-7 and those high school things, and they just keep throwing it. And look at all the quarterbacks in the NFL that have come from the great state of Texas, including Ryan Tannehill here tonight, and Andy Dalton, third-year pro out of TCU.
Something in the water, huh?
I think so. First mistake, though, by Andy Dalton in a long time. Gave the Dolphins a free 3. And now 6 seconds remaining as Sturgis tries to line drive this one down the middle. Touched by one of the Bengal players who's going to have to cover it. Cedric Pierman did get on top of it with 2 seconds remaining in the half. So 13 out of 22, 121, no touchdowns, and first interception in a long time.
And if you're keeping score at home, the most important one is turnover differential. That was the second turnover by the Bengals, the strip sack of Dalton early, and then the bad interception late.
Tannehill not even 100 yards throwing, but with their ground game being superb in the first half, he hasn't had to throw a lot. Dalton will take a knee. First half will come to a close. So the division leading Bengals on the road in a little bit of trouble in South Florida. Miami, a 10-3 lead. End of the first half. Reminder to stay tuned for the Lexus halftime show. It's coming up. And the Dolphins at home. John Offerdahl, Coach Shula. John Offerdahl becoming the 26th member of the Dolphin Honor Roll, introduced by Coach Shula. Becomes the third linebacker with Zach Thomas and Nick Bonaconti to join that illustrious group. Let's check out our Volkswagen first half game summary. Great rushing game by the Dolphins in the first half, and Cincinnati with turnover problems right now. And we welcome you back to Sun Life Stadium. Brad Nessler and Mike Mayock. Bengals come in leading their division. They ran into some goblins in the first half, didn't they?
Well, you know, they ran into some Miami Dolphins whose game plan was what we anticipated. Take care of the football, be patient with your run game, and win the turnover battle, and that's what they did in the first half.
And the battle with the turnovers, some problems on drop passes, and then an interception, first one in a month for Andy Dalton.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Cincinnati, you're not happy with how sloppy you are. Third down, easy catch for A.J. Green. He drops it. Jermaine Gresham, good throw from Dalton, drop. And then late in the half, when you've got to protect the football, Dalton makes an ill-advised throw off his back foot to the inside shoulder. Nice pick by Patterson. That set up a field goal. And at half, it's 10-3 Dolphins.
Bengals with 2 turnovers. They had a couple of 3-and-outs. They only had 141 yards of offense. But they will get the football to start the third quarter. And Brandon Tate's going to bring it out from deep in the end zone. And didn't get to the 20-yard line as we check in with Alex.
So Brad and Mike, a few minutes ago, I just saw defensive tackle Geno Atkins back being carted into his locker room. He got off of the cart on crutches with a huge pack of ice over his right knee. The team officially not saying exactly what the injury is. It is a knee injury, and he is out for the rest of this game. There's basically a huge hole up the middle now of the Bengals defense, which the Miami Dolphins have been able to run straight through. Remember, Ray Maluga out, his backup, Michael Boley out, and now Geno Atkins. And so Joe Philbin saying it is imperative and critical they continue to run the ball in the second half of this game.
Great point. We'll see if they stick with it, Alex. Bengals open up from the 17-yard line. They will try to run. And Jarvin Green Ellis. And Ben Jarvis goes across the 20. Pickup of about 4. Andy Dalton, almost perfect last week. 5 touchdown passes. 325 yards, and tonight's been a different story.
Yeah, they did a heck of a job last week taking care of the Jets' talented front. Sheldon Richardson, Muhammad Wilkerson got the ball out quickly and effectively.
2 tight end set, and now Eifert goes into the backfield. Green Ellis going to be dropped for a loss. Miami's defense picking up where they left off in the second quarter.
Yeah, they can't block Soliai in the run game. And here he is right here, about 350 pounds. Watch the right guard, Seitler, try to keep on him, but he just keeps fighting through. The cutback is cleaned up by Philip Wheeler. Really good defense played at the point of attack by defensive tackle Paul Soliai.
When you're down by a touchdown and you get the ball first in the opening minute of the third quarter, you don't want to find yourself in a 3rd down and 8. A.J. Green in motion toward the football. Dalton with time. Throws complete to A.J. First down. Nice route, good pitch and catch. And a first down, Cincinnati.
And Miami showed 6 but only brought 4. They stacked the 2 receivers to give Green a clean release. Patterson gets a piece and tries to undercut it but never finds the football. Andy Dalton's been taught this year when a defender's got his back to you, throw it right at his helmet, and that's a nice job by Dalton.
So first down at the 37. 6th catch of the night for A.J. in the shotgun. Dalton will give it off to Green Ellis on the inside. That's maybe his best run of the night. Picked up about 9.
Yeah, I thought Kyle Cook could have been called for a hold here. Does a nice job getting up to the second level, but then he just watch Cook strangle the linebacker, Ellerbe, right there and throw him down. You got one there, Kyle.
Yep, definitely. Actually got 8. So it's second down and 2. Quick throw to the outside. Snatched by Gresham. Oh, he stood up in a form tackle over there on the corner by Chris Clemens. And he didn't get the first down. Remember last week, Miami had the lead on the Patriots by 2 touchdowns at halftime and ended up losing by 10. Gave up 24 unanswered in the second half. And the Bengals on a drive here to open the third quarter, have a 3rd and a yard. Again, the extra tight end. And an eye backfield for Green Ellis. Stuffs it up in there, and did he get enough? Maybe not.
Soliai does a nice job again, kind of splitting the center guard gap.
Bill Levy's already said, let's bring out the chain gang to look at this.
What do you think here, Mr. Nessler?
I think he's a little bit short. About one of your size 12s. They bring the chains from the near side.
We were talking to Kyle Cook last night, the center from Cincinnati. I asked him about Paul Soliai. What did he call him? Called him some kind of truck. He said the dude's like a diesel truck.
And he said you got to slow him down before the diesel's running away from you.
Yep. All right.
About a foot shy. 4th down.
Okay. If your defense, obviously, Nets, first thing is alert, hard calls. You can't jump off sides here. Second is penetration, and then if you're a second-level defender, watch play action.
The fans are trying to do their part. Dalton, I don't know.
He got smoked.
He's still trying to drive for it, and now if they come in and give him the spot, he's going to have the first down.
Inside linebacker, I think it was Ellerbe, smoked him at the line of scrimmage. Watch 59 Ellerbe flash, or was it 52 Wheeler? Ball's in his, let's see where, watch him get hit. Right there, he gets smoked, bounces back, the ball's in his right hand, and he keeps moving with Cameron Wake wrapped around him. It all depends where the football is. I'm not sure how far that got extended.
You needed a foot.
You got it.
And you got a foot and a half.
Those marks are so hard.
They sure are.
So hard.
They always challenge the spot, I suppose.
Yeah, it's almost impossible. And there's the hit inside right there where he gets jacked. I didn't think he had it on initial movement. He bounces out and tries to go again. Green Ellis shoves him from behind.
Quick snap. Dalton trying to throw it out on the flat to his check down safety valve Gresham, and he one-hopped it over there.
Dalton did a nice job last week against the Jets, which was predominantly man coverage. Today, a lot more patience required. Miami playing more zone on the back end. I think Jay Gruden's done a really nice job with Andy Dalton. They've got to start distributing the football to some of these weapons we talked about at the top of the show, though.
Jay, who had several head coaching interviews in the past offseason. Empty set here on second down and 10. Bernard, the tailback, out as an extra receiver to the right side as Dalton completes it to midfield. Only about a 2-yard pickup for A.J. Green, though.
I mean, last week he gets Marvin Jones for 4 touchdowns of his 5 in the Jet game. Here they go fast.
And both Jones and Green are to Andy Dalton's right on 3rd down and 8.
Now, you know it's man coverage because the linebacker's out here on Gresham. So you get a pre-snap tell here. Wheeler on Gresham out wide.
They picked up a long third down earlier in this drive. They'll get another one on the run. And inside the 30 and down the sideline, Jones. Touchdown. '50-yard touchdown. Andy Dalton to Marvin Jones.
See at the very end of this thing here, he gets pushed. The foot hits right there.
Holding. Number 84 offense.
And it's not going to matter.
Not going to matter. It's coming back.
First and 10 for Cincinnati.
That's Jermaine Gresham, who I thought Dalton was going to throw it to at the beginning because he was wide open. Remember, we talked about him being covered by a linebacker. He was wide open. Now, here comes the run. And there's no need there to clip or hold.
Still a first down, but it's not a touchdown.
Right. I'm not sure about that call anyway.
He didn't need to do that. He was already leaving.
I agree with that.
So it negates a 50-yard score, but the Bengals do have a first down at the 34-yard line. And Jarvis Green Ellis back in at tailback behind Dalton. Gets the carry. Right side, blasts through, almost lost the football. Kept a hold of it and got across the 30-yard line.
Little power scheme there. Instead of their zone scheme that time, they pulled bowling. Little power play with Tyler Eifert involved, and that's downhill physical football.
Good opening drive here by Cincinnati. They've had to earn it, that's for sure, but they are in the 12th play of a 53-yard march. Trying to tie this game up. Dalton delayed blitz, stands in, fires, completes. Sanu, and he's got a first down. Now close to the 16-yard line.
Yeah, kind of interesting. Paul Soliai kind of stopped there. He felt like he was being held. I thought he had a chance to sack the quarterback. He got frustrated by Kyle Cook and stopped. Watch Soliai right in here. Okay? He feels like he's being held. He stops, looks at the ref like, call something, please, and then goes to the quarterback.
Good eye. Had he not done that, he might have gotten to it.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton.
Just get to the quarterback, man.
In the red zone. Dalton play action. And this time they will get him at the 20. Derek Shelby with the sack.
That's a coverage sack. Shelby just keeps fighting. It was just a twist stunt inside. Double stack on both sides. Zone coverage. I don't see anybody open. The safeties are breaking here and here. Look up top, there's nothing. You got the check down, and Shelby keeps coming hard, fights through, and makes a play.
Third sack of the night. Last week, 5 touchdowns in 6 trips to the red zone. 2nd and 14 for number 14. Got it complete. Bernard made one guy miss, got through the tackle of Patterson, and picked up 11. But it's still going to bring up third down.
Yeah, this is almost impossible for a linebacker one-on-one. Good throw by Dalton. Philip Wheeler's going to try and stay with him. Here's the crossing route. The ball's put in front so he can keep running. That's a job you don't want if you're a linebacker. That kid is too quick and too talented.
Have to wonder if this might even be 2-down territory. Trailing by a touchdown on the road. 3rd down and 3.
Backside, one-on-one right here with Demetri Patterson.
And timeout taken. Don't want to waste an opportunity with 7:52 remaining. 3rd quarter. Bengals hoping to unleash a 3rd down conversion here. 3rd down and 3. Trying to drive down and tie the game up. In the red zone, only one miscue in his career. Biggest play of the ball game by either team on 3rd down.
This is where Dalton's done a great job improving, is his control at the line of scrimmage.
He'll throw. The quick throw to the outside, and it's intercepted. Going the other way is Brent Grimes. Grimes with blockers. Brent Grimes is going to take it. Coast to coast. Touchdown. The second mistake of his career in the red zone, and Brent Grimes takes it 92 yards for a touchdown.
I don't mind the decision. I just don't like the location. Ball's out quickly. It's got to be out wide. Look, it's behind them again. Both interceptions tonight behind. That one particularly egregious. That was a horrible throw.
Brent Grimes was dragging a truck with him, but he got there. Gresham with a swat at the end to try to knock the ball away. But the veteran cornerback on a great play on the ball. Intended for Marvin Jones. And number 21 goes 92 the other way. 17-3 Miami. Brent Grimes had never scored a touchdown on the NFL until that last play. And another miscue by Cincinnati.
Heck of a play by the young man from Shippensburg. But Cincinnati, the strip fumble. Great play by Cameron Wake. Turnover number 1. Turnover number 2. Patterson stepping in front of a poorly thrown ball by Dalton. Then the really dumb holding penalty by Gresham that negated a touchdown. And finally, another poor throw from an accuracy perspective by Dalton.
And now the big-time offense of Cincinnati knows what they have to do in a 2-touchdown hole they put themselves in with 7:37 remaining in the quarter. With NFL Mobile from Verizon, you can get in-game highlights, up-to-the-minute news and scores from your favorite team. Premium subscribers can watch live games tonight, Sunday, and Monday nights, as well as NFL Red Zone and NFL Network, all live on your phone. Download today. Call ** NFL or go to NFL.com/mobile. Trouble for the division-leading Bengals right here, partner.
Yeah, interesting to see how they react, especially the third-year quarterback, Andy Dalton.
First pick 6 of the year for Dalton. He led the NFL in that category, something you don't want to do, last year. Here's a counter to Green Ellis. Got about 4. Toomisi in on the tackle.
You know, the guy that deserves some credit is defensive coordinator Kevin Coyle. Now, remember, year 2 as DC here in Miami, but spent 11 years in Cincinnati. Told us yesterday, very close still to some of the players, and I think his game plan has been on point tonight. It's been patient. It's been a lot of zone. It's been a lot of matchup stuff. And at the end of the day, he's challenging Cincinnati to drive 80 yards without mistakes, and they haven't been able to do it.
Dolphins have as many interceptions with the ones they've added tonight as they did all of 2012. Second down and 5. Dalton play action. Plenty of time running out of it now and running for it. If he can get there, he does. Good scramble by Dalton to pick up the first down.
Yeah, I thought again, I've seen a lot of things tonight that don't look like the Andy Dalton of the tape I've watched the last 3 weeks. I thought he could have taken a shot that time to Mohamed Sanu. I think his location and accuracy has been very uncharacteristic tonight, and it's really going to be interesting to watch how he comes back here.
Only 6.5 minutes remaining in the third, and trailing by 2 touchdowns. Quick throw out to Jones. Made 1 miss, 2 miss, not the third, but he did get out to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, nice tackle by Olivier Vernon. I love when you see those interior players hustle out to a perimeter throw. And Ness, they're trying to bleed them. They've done this the whole game, just challenging them to go the whole way without a penalty, a fumble, an interception. And thus far, it's been a heck of a game plan.
And the penalty, remember, in the last series took away a 50-yard touchdown. Blitz. Green Ellis, first down run. Out across the 45 to the 46.
Tui almost got there. You see Eifert here, the tight end, H-back. Tui gets into the backfield, but a good cut by Ben Jarvis Green-Ellis.
You got to wonder the next time that Jay Gruden wants to dial up a pass play for Andy Dalton, where his head's going to be at.
Yeah, he's got to forget all that. I think he is. I think he's a very resilient, tough-minded kid.
He's a perfectionist, though, and admits that to us in our meetings. He's been imperfect tonight, and this one's batted in the air. Soliai got a big paw on it.
He continues to get pressure against this interior three. This time it's from Zeitler on the right side. There's the big left hand. Heck of a job. 6'4", 340 pounds. That could have been another big play right there.
The way he hit that one probably hurt the football. Second down and 10. Soliai gets a breather. Dalton looking to complete a pass here. After a shaky ball game, he'll keep it on the ground. Bernard. Gio Bernard, first down, almost a horse collar at the end. It was, in fact, penalty marker down.
I like the patience here by Jay Gruden. No panic. There's so much time left in this football game.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle, number 20. Defense, 15-yard penalty enforced from the end of the run. First down.
Rashad Jones, one of 5 Georgia Bulldog players on this Cincinnati team.
We talked to Marvin Jones last night about the process prior to the draft, and he said they knew they were going to take a running back that was a change of pace. They could catch the football, could make you miss. They looked at all the running backs in the draft. Marvin Lewis personally went to University of North Carolina, where they fell in love with this kid. First back taken in the second round.
The 37th pick. So it took a while to take it back, and here he comes out of the backfield. And again, he runs right by the first would-be tackler, Ellerbe.
Yeah, I mean, that's stealing. I mean, he takes angles away from linebackers. Ellerbe can fly, but when he catches this football, now you accelerate. Ellerbe thinks he's got the angle, but he doesn't. And the kid's a little stronger than you think he is.
Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons at North Carolina, including 1,228 last year as a senior. Here's a stretch play. Whoop, that time he slipped. Got up, though. Broken tackle. Dances his way for maybe a first down.
Are you kidding me? I mean, that's why this kid is so fun. You want to talk about lateral jump cuts. Should have been -3 when he slips and falls. There's the slip. Gets up. Jump cut.
Yeah,
right
still
there.
dancing around. Just a little bit short of the first down. Third down, less than 1. Quick throw to the outside, A.J. Green with a stiff arm on the first down. And he almost got down the sideline before being run out.
Well done. That was Dalton recognizing off coverage and quick snapping it and getting it out there. That was a run play. Coaches call that a smoke, where there's a run play, but the only person that knows it is the quarterback in the wideout.
Here's the quick toss out to Green, another Georgia player, and the guy that's going to run him out of bounds, Philip Wheeler from Georgia Tech. So it's down at the 13-yard line.
Well, Cincinnati needs to finish, and they haven't been able to all night.
Green with 8 catches, 4 of them have come on third down. Back to Bernard. Sneaky inside run, and then powers his way to first and goal. I don't even know how he popped out the backside of that pile.
He followed his big left guard, Clint Bowling, through the hole. Bowling's going to start here and come up. Watch him get right in behind that big butt. Makes the cut off of it, and now the lower the pad level, and he just keeps driving. Eifert on Grimes. Wake is on him. He just keeps driving the legs. That's beautiful.
That is. First and goal, Cincinnati. 11th play of the drive. They had a 15-play drive last time. The fade to A.J. Green. Almost one-handed it. Dimitri Patterson was covering.
Yeah, that ball was out regardless. I think if you're going to throw the one-on-one to A.J. Green against a corner that's 5'9", you got to put it up inbounds and let him go get it.
So second down and goal. 2:14 remaining in the third quarter. The Bengals have had the ball 12 minutes and 46 seconds. No points. The zero time of possession is because it took Brent Grimes about 13 seconds to run 92 yards with the interception. Second down and goal.
Run the football.
They will. Bernard, touchdown Cincinnati.
They found something, Ness, on this drive they really like, and it's power football. It's pulling the left guard bowling, using the tight end Eifert as an offset fullback, and running power.
So the Bengals, who have run the last 28 plays from scrimmage in this ball game, finally get the final 3 on this one.
See the power, 65 and 85, shoulder to shoulder. Good job both by Bowling and Eifert. And boy, did Bernard do a heck of a job, both in the pass and run game on that drive.
Mike Nugent for his first extra point attempt of the night, and it's good. So a 12-play drive covers 80 yards for Cincinnati to get right back in the football game. And Giovanni Bernard, his third rushing touchdown of the year, 17-10. Rookie out of North Carolina with a 3-yard touchdown plunge has made it a one-score game here in Miami. And you got to wonder about the Dolphins defense and how gassed they might be. They've been out there the whole quarter with the exception of what we have left, 2:10. And the Bengals know how to take the football and go on long drives. Another 80-yarder to make it 17-10. Marcus Thigpen from a yard deep. Not going to make it to the 20. Just over 2 minutes remaining in the quarter. The Dolphins at home trying to snap a 4-game losing skid. The Bengals trying to win number 5 in a row. Great shot of Sun Life Stadium out in the middle of Miami Gardens. Don't forget Sunday's game day on NFL Network. Game day first at 7. NFL Game Day morning at 9. Highlights follow in the afternoon games at 7:30. And we cap it off with Game Day final after the Sunday night game. That's all coming up Sunday on NFL Network. This is the first offensive play since it was 9:50. So about 15 minutes of real time before the Dolphins snap it when you go back to the halftime. And then the one scoring play, remember, was Brent Grimes on an interception return for a touchdown. Michael Johnson makes the tackle on that play.
Yeah, he did a nice job. First he got Bryant McKinney off of him, and then he had Agnew on him. Did a really nice job getting rid of both those guys.
So the first snap in almost an hour for the Dolphins offense gets them 0.
Cincinnati's run 61 offensive plays to Miami's 37. It's up to Miami's offense to give their defense a break here.
Tannehill on a bootleg off the play action. Completes it out to the 26-yard line to Rashard Matthews, who has to sort of pick up his game a little bit with the injury. And Brandon Gibson going on injured reserve with a patella tendon tear. And he was really a big part of their offense.
I thought he was starting to come into his own and had not been a slot receiver before. Did a nice job in the slot. Also like the call and the throw there. Gives him 3rd and short again. Move the pocket, keep that Cincinnati defense guessing.
And let's see if they can pick up the 3rd down and keep their offense on the field and their defense getting an extra breather here as we're almost set to close out the 3rd quarter.
The double A gap pressure again, both linebackers up close.
Tannehill, far side throw, Hartline got the first down and run out of bounds, flag down. That's kind of a weird spot for a flag. Maybe he pushed off over there on Adam Jones.
Right. I've never seen more corners slip also than tonight.
Pass interference, offense, number 82.
Good call.
10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
He looked a little too wide open the first time I saw it.
Hartline working on Jones. I really don't see that, to be honest with you. And as a former defensive back, if I'm disagreeing with an offensive pass interference call, I don't see that one at all.
Brian Hartline wasn't agreeing with it either, obviously. So here's 3rd down and a bunch. Looked like they were going to have a 1st down. Keep the sticks moving here late in the quarter. And now they find themselves 3rd and 13.
Yeah, and here's where Cincinnati's coming after you.
Miller and Clay going to try to help Tannehill if they do bring the heat. They back out of it. Tannehill throws to the short man. That's Miller. He's run out of bounds at the 22 with 3 seconds remaining in the third.
And again, as frustrating as that is for Miami, their defense is going to have to come back on the field. I think it's the right thing. They dropped out of it. They rushed 4, check it down, and punt the football.
And third quarter has come to a close. And the Dolphins hold on in the final 15 minutes on their home field. We're about set to find out. So we start the fourth quarter with Miami in front 17-10 and set to punt. Brandon Fields inside his own 10-yard line. And Brandon Tate back inside the 30. That's where he'll chase this one down at the 27-yard line. And he got peppered out of bounds after a short return.
Talk about what Giovanni Bernard brings to an offense. Early in the season, check down against Pittsburgh. Takes everybody's angles away. Sprints into the end zone untouched. Same thing. Little check down against Buffalo. Whoop. Make 1 miss, 2 miss. Run through an arm tackle. Power into the end zone. You check it down 3 or 4 or 5 yards past the line of scrimmage, and that young man does the rest.
So Cincinnati works from its own 30-yard line. And Jarvis Green Ellis, the tailback right now. Bengals trailing by a touchdown. Play action. Little screen pass out to Tyler Eifert. And he goes out for 5 to the 35. Well, partner, here we are, fourth quarter. A team that's got a 2.5-game lead in their division. Cincinnati with the biggest one in the NFL. And a team that's trying to snap a 4-game losing skid.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Miami's been here before. Last week against New England, let a lead get away. The week before against Buffalo, same thing. Miami needs to finish, and I think Cincinnati's played pretty sloppy tonight.
I would totally agree with you. And so would that man. On 2nd and 5, Dolphins bringing a blitz. Green Ellis spins away from that and then some. And he's still on his feet out near midfield.
That might be his longest run of the year.
It's 14 yards.
No, I think he's got a 15.
And that's the longest one he's had is 15.
Good spin move right there. Usually a power back. Shows a little bit of quickness. I like it.
Yeah, he's wanting to keep his job at least halftime from Bernard, who's in there now. From the 49-yard line. Andy Dalton in the gun. Quick drop. The throw over the middle. Lofted one out there, complete to Gresham, the tight end, for 17 more yards.
Oh, this was fortunate. You know, I thought he's done a better job this year of throwing with touch, but I thought this one could get picked off. Does a good job getting it over the linebacker, but I thought the safety could make a play on the football as opposed to Gresham.
Gresham almost lost it at the end, but a first down at the 35.
And it came out of his hand funny, too.
Yeah, it did. 2 interceptions, no touchdowns for Dalton so far. Here's the toss to Bernard. Whoa. Got away from Grimes, trying to go the other way, and he's got blockers, including his quarterback. Giovanni Bernard weaving his way for the Bengals. He might take it. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Holy mackerel.
Are you kidding me? Did we just talk about this kid's ability to make people miss?
Wow, what a run.
Now, Eifert misses the block, and I think it's all over at the point of attack. Right here. And it should be. Grimes has him. And now he's running away from everybody. Andy Dalton out front, throws a block. Well, here comes the cutback. Oh, yeah. This kid is awesome.
Longest run of the year, a 35-yard touchdown. Mike Nugent for the point after. If Cincinnati comes from behind and wins this football game, they can thank their lucky stars and their rookie from North Carolina. His second rushing touchdown of the night, and we are tied at 17. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Craftsman. As you look at South Beach, and you want to see an amazing play, watch this one.
It's not often you get an opportunity to miss a tackle twice on one play. Grimes, who missed them initially, gets a chance to make the tackle on the 11-yard line and misses them again.
Now keep in mind, Grimes had to run about 60 yards to get back there to try the second time.
Yeah, I give him a ton of credit for the hustle. It's just ironic that he missed the first tackle and the last tackle on the same play.
We talked earlier in the ballgame about the special qualities of the rookie, and he has showed us here in the second half. Big pin from deep in his own end zone. Gets out across the 20. Nice return. Up to about the 24-yard line. Andrew Hawkins just activated, made the stop on special teams. Second touchdown of the night for the rookie. 17-17. Minutes ago we said, could it happen to the Dolphins again? Last week, a 2-touchdown lead at halftime against the Patriots. Tonight, a 2-touchdown lead in the third quarter. That's evaporated. We're tied at 17. And what will their answer be? Play action. Tannehill fires. Caught. First down. Mike Wallace.
It's a pretty cool play, and it takes some pass protection because of the time involved. It's a double move and a comeback. So there's the hesitation to go. Terrence Newman turns to run with what he thought was a hitch and go. Wallace brought it back at the end. Really nice job by the receiver, and it takes a lot of time to throw that route.
We told you the Dolphins didn't have the ball basically in the third quarter. That's their first down since the last minute of the first half. And we've got 12 minutes to play in the ballgame.
Don't forget the run.
Here they come with a run. Thomas trying to get to the edge, and he got blasted at the edge by Chris Crocker. So no gain on the play, and second down and 10.
I mean, they had 142 yards rushing in the first half. Barely touched the football third quarter, right?
Yep. Had it for 2 minutes.
Got to reestablish some physicality here.
They got Miller back in the pistol behind Tannehill on second and 10. Blitz coming. Tannehill over the middle. Completes it to Charles Clay. And Tannehill hit the deck after letting that one go.
Tannehill got crushed. McKinney realized the linebacker was coming and left Johnson to go get him. But at least got the ball out of his hand quickly. Remember last week against New England, they had a 3rd and 2 and tried to throw the ball. Strip sack fumble.
Got a 3rd and 4 here. Don't want to give it back to a Bengals team who's got a red-hot tailback right now. And they've already closed the gap with 14 unanswered points. Tannehill trying to keep the Dolphin march alive. And Mike Wallace trying to stretch out, but he landed about a yard shy.
Yeah, I think he's short. I think we have to give this Dolphin offensive line a little credit, though. I mean, they're hanging in there.
Time to punt.
Look at the setup here at the offensive line. Alert, alert. Cincinnati not sure. There you go.
Got the wide splits. Now they bring it back in.
Yep.
As you look behind Brandon Fields. And kicking the ball deep tonight. 54 yards a kick. We'd like to keep this one out of the hands of Tate on the other end, or at least make it non-returnable. And the bounce goes right to Tate. He had to take that one, or it might have rolled all the way down to the 1-yard line. So a little bit of a gutsy move, but he gets 9 yards on the return. 9:49 remaining in regulation. The Bengals have come from behind to tie it up, and they've got the ball in a minute. The Bengals have scored 14 unanswered. They've got the ball back at their own 22-yard line. 9:49 remaining in regulation. Green Ellis, very little, if anything.
Well, no matter how you look at it, star of the show is Bernard.
Absolutely.
The rookie second-round pick has 8 carries for 78, 4 catches for 25.
An electrifying touchdown the last time they had the ball.
Yeah, I mean, you add the thing up, he's got 12 touches for 103, including that great touchdown, Brad.
back in there behind Andy Dalton. Second down and 10. Quick throw to the outside, complete to Sanu.
Well, one more time, Ness.
Might as well.
Grimes misses the tackle on the 40. Reverses field.
He picks up his number one blocker, his quarterback.
Picks up Dalton.
Here comes Grimes again.
Miss him again. Nope.
Wow. What a run.
He had to cover 120 yards on that 35-yard run.
Third down and 3, Cincinnati. Dalton. Crossing route on the run. Sanu's out to midfield. 21-yard pickup on third down.
Nice job. Dalton seeing Sanu on the cross. Here he is, just on the cross right here. He wins inside. Does a nice job using a pick in the middle of the field. Cuts off Jimmy Wilson, the nickel back. I thought they were going to try to force it out to Bernard, who was one-on-one again on a linebacker.
So they got it right to the midfield stripe. With just under 8 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. Back to Green Ellis, straight up the middle. Somebody lost their helmet on the inside. Soliai lost his hat. Remember, Miami led in this game because of Bengals blunders, drop passes, a strip sack. Brent Grimes with an interception return for 92 yards for a score, and things were looking rosy until this guy showed up and has scored 2 touchdowns to even things up. Second down and 7.
We might call them Bengal blunders, but let's give this Miami defense some credit here. They played a heck of a game tonight.
Absolutely. Blitz coming. Dalton pumps and now hits the deck. They get to him again, and it's Soliai who had lost his helmet on the last play. 4th sack of the night now.
Green Ellis does a good job picking up over here, but watch Soliai in the middle just keep coming. He gets that Reggie White hump move on the center. Kyle Cook keeps coming, won't let go. Yeah.
You've got the John Cena, you can't see me. You trust me, we can see you, pal. You weigh 345 pounds.
Dude, we can't miss you.
Third down and 16. Dalton throws complete to Green. He broke a tackle. He's got a first down. He spins his way to the 35-yard line. Big-time player at a big time.
Yeah, hey, you know, and Grimes misses another tackle. Miami tries to go with what they do here is a safety here and a safety back here. It's called a robber coverage. You're trying to force a throw over the middle of the field. Grimes, however, gets out of his pedal, and now when he breaks up, he doesn't make the tackle short of a first down.
That's 4 straight 100-yard receiving games for A.J. Green. Wow. On a 3rd and 16, he got 21. First down at the 35. Bernard right in the middle of the pile this time, stood up after a 2-yard game. Randy Starks, Jared Odrick bring him down.
That's the play they made money on the drive 2 drives ago. Power play. They've pulled the left guard bowling every single time. I don't think I've seen the right guard, Zeitler, pull it all.
Tying a Bengal record with what I just said. Carl Pickens back in '94 had 4 straight 100-plus. Wow. And Ryan Tannehill can only look on, hoping his defense gets the ball back for him. Second down and 8.
Got a chance to make a play here if they don't drop out.
3 wideouts for Dalton. Pump fakes one way and comes deep in the middle. Up in the air, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Ellerby, coming the other way. On a tip play, the middle linebacker with a play for Miami.
He had single coverage out wide on A.J. Green, yet he decided to throw into double coverage. I don't understand it. Ball should have been caught.
And then Ellerby, number 59, alertly picks it off. 3rd interception of the night by Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton had been almost perfect the last month of the season. 3 interceptions now tonight, ties a career high. And it gives the football back to the Dolphins with just under 5 minutes to play, with a chance to win and snap a 4-game losing streak. Lamar Miller got the corner, tiptoes out of bounds with a first down.
You know, Brad, on that interception, I was wrong. The safety came over the top and did double team A.J. Green. This is a correct read, and it is a heck of a throw. He fits it in between the linebacker and the safety. Sanu's got to catch this football. So that's my bad on the call with Dalton. The first 2 interceptions I hated. That one's not his fault.
First down at the 30. Lamar Miller working on a 100-yard game now.
28! Go, go!
And he might have it with that run with forward progress, but he's knocked back by Burfict. We'll have less than 4.5 minutes remaining on the next snap.
We've talked about all the injuries that this offensive line for Miami's had, but defensively for Cincinnati, you lose Geno Atkins early in the ball game. They had already lost Ray Maluga coming in. They're playing with Vinny Ray as their starting inside linebacker.
Giovanni Bernard on the sideline. Looks like he's shaken up. Second down and 10 for Tannehill. You saw the disparity in the number of plays. This is only the 10th play for the Dolphins offensively, thanks to Grimes' interception, return for a score, and Ellerby giving it back to him right now.
Right.
Tough night for the redhead.
Yeah, I thought he had played 3 exceptional games back to back to back.
Yep.
And this one's a little bit of a regression. Now, this is a pretty important play here. You're talking about 3:40 and running in the 4th quarter, tie ball game, 3rd and about 5.
Miami has matched what they did last week, and they lost to the Patriots on the ground again tonight. They need 6 through the air here. Tannehill, pressure coming. Throw a little bit high. Is there a flag? There is not. Adam Jones makes the play.
Really good pressure. Ball comes out. Jones, man coverage. The slip. He's on his back, ripping his arm. What do you think, partner?
I'd say interference.
Yeah.
So would Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
Instead, it's punting time for Brandon Fields. And Joe Philbin still asking the question on the sideline. Maybe more of a statement than a question. Tate from the 15.
Low kick.
Brandon Tate looking for a blocker. And he actually got a nice return out of it before he's run out of bounds. 3 minutes, 7 seconds. Andy Dalton's got another chance. Despite a 3-interception night, he'll have the football in a minute. The NFL is teaming up with Discovery to bring you unprecedented in-season access. Get an uncensored look at what it takes for the 49ers and the Jaguars to prepare for their big game in London. NFL in-season. 49ers versus the Jags tomorrow at 11 o'clock Eastern on Discovery. Well, the guy that tied the football game up, shaken up, we think, on this play. The last time he carried. And he's not in there right now when they need him. That means it's BenJarvus, Green, Ellis in the backfield with Andy Dalton. 3:07 and 2 timeouts to work. A quick out dropped by Hawkins. Another drop pass. And Dimitri Patterson shaken up, making the play over there on the corner.
And that was a really good play by Patterson. They went double stack, which is an alert to a bubble screen every time, and he fought through Tyler Eifert and made a play.
7th-year pro out of Tuskegee. Shaken up on the play. We'll check on him when we come back. Next Thursday, we'll make our final trip to the Metrodome. RG3 and Adrian Peterson set to display their wares as the Redskins meet the Vikings next Thursday night in Minneapolis. Hope you join us, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central Time. Dimitri Patterson, I think his shoulder may have popped out. It looked like they tried to pop it back in for him. They're running out of corners. Remember, Nolan Carroll went out with a concussion earlier. R.J. Stanford's in now playing corner. Second down and 10. Dalton on a throwback to A.J. Green. Looking for blockers. A stiff arm, a sidestep, and a first down out around the 40-yard line. Well, A.J. Green doing his thing on that short pass that he turns in to a first down.
It was a nice stiff arm on safety Rashad Jones. Boy, is he big and powerful, A.J. Green.
2:30 right now and counting. First down, Cincinnati at its own 39. Can he make it 10 career game-winning drives in the fourth quarter? All they need is a field goal to take the lead. Little quick opening draw. Green Ellis takes a couple of tacklers with him for 3 yards, including Olivier Vernon.
That'll take us down to the 2-minute. And remember, Cincinnati only has 2 timeouts left because Dalton had to take one early in the third quarter.
There it is. 2-minute warning. On Halloween night in South Florida. Final 2 minutes. It'll determine this game. Tied at 17. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by the new 2014 Lexus GX. Dare to be spontaneous. And by Bridgestone. Our passion for performance knows no bounds. Bernard is heading to the locker room. His 2 touchdowns have evened this game up, and now it's in the hands of Andy Dalton and company with a second down, I should say, at their own 42-yard line. They need about 20 to 25 yards to get in field goal range. Dalton throws on the run and trying to bring it down was Marvin Jones. R.J. Stanford, that backup corner we were talking about, made the play.
And I think it's very smart to attack Stanford. They're down a couple of corners. Dalton rolled out, which was not part of it. I think if he could have gotten that out there earlier, he had an opportunity, but a good job by R.J. Stanford.
When you've had 3 interceptions on the night, but you are 8 of 11 on your third down conversions, here's where you become a star if you can pick up one more, if you're Andy Dalton.
Cedric Pierman in the game at tailback.
Dalton fires. Caught. And it's Sanu run out of bounds, but a first down, and again Dalton comes through on third down.
Boy, is that good coverage by the nickel Jimmy Wilson, and he fits it in. He's on Sanu, going to get to his underneath hip and try to undercut it. Wow, the ball's put the only place it could be put. Watch this.
He's had a couple tonight that weren't perfect. That one was.
Give him credit. Game on the line. Minute 48. You're about 15 yards away from starting to think about a field goal.
Watch it. First down at the 42. Eifert set in the backfield with Green Ellis, who will get the carry. And Jarvis got inside the 40, down around 38.
That's smart. Now you force them to start burning timeouts.
And there goes Miami's first. Again, a night that Andy Dalton would like to forget. He won't worry about the 3 picks if they win this game, but up until now.
Yeah, the first 2 I didn't like at all. Bad location. Here's the one that killed him, the pick 6. That was really poorly thrown. The third interception was not on Dalton. It was a pinpoint throw over the linebacker in front of the safety. Sanu's got to make that catch. He doesn't. But not a great performance by Dalton. Give this team credit for coming back the way they have. Game on the line, that last throw, partner.
Perfect.
Great throw.
1 minute and 41 remaining. And again, they're closing in on Mike Nugent's field goal range. His career long is 55 yards. He's done that on a couple different occasions. But right now they're thinking, get some more real estate here and chew some more clock and make Miami use their timeouts. And that'll be the call. Green Ellis. And he backs his way for maybe 3 more yards. And Miami takes another timeout. With 1 minute 35 remaining. So another 300-yard game despite the 3 interceptions by Andy Dalton. Reminder for you, don't forget, coming up when the game is over, Rich and Dion and Marshall, Michael and Warren, they'll be live on the field breaking down the action, complete with highlights and player interviews. We don't know who their star of the game is going to be yet because we don't know who's going to win the game yet. but whoever's a star will be there with them on the Total Access postgame show.
Partner, the problem here is balls on the 36-yard line. You want to be conservative. You want to run the ball. You want to force them to use a timeout, get a first down. And the problem is, though, the ball on the 36 plus 8, that's 44 plus 10 is 54.
And you saw Mike Nugent kind of closing his eyes over there and breathing heavily if he gets a chance for a game winner. He's got 2 this year already. 3rd and 4. Blitz coming off the corner. Dalton's going to air it down the sideline. Sanu can't get there. The ball's out of bounds anyway. Brent Grimes was covering.
Well, I'm really surprised by that throw. Pearman did a good job picking up the blitz, and they had single coverage with A.J. Green on Clemens. I think I'd work that one and try and get the first down, that more than an all-or-nothing deep shot.
He won the Buffalo game in overtime. He had the game winner against the Lions. Still a lot of time left in this game, but this is from 54. This would be the 2nd longest field goal he's made in his NFL career. Nugent for the lead. Kick on the way.
Crushed it.
It's good.
Crushed it.
Veteran Mike Nugent out of Ohio State from 54 yards.
Man, he crushed that.
Will it be the game winner, though? Ryan Tannehill and the Dolphins offense still has something to say about that. That is 17 unanswered points, courtesy of the veteran kicker who had plenty to spare.
17 unanswered. Last week against New England, 27 unanswered.
That one's good from about 60 easily.
That guy right there, Marvin Lewis, has done a phenomenal job with this franchise. And I think if they continue to play like they have, Brad, both their coordinators are going to be highly considered for a head coaching job this coming season.
Jay Gruden on offense and
Yep.
Mike Zimmer, the defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Quite a comeback by Cincinnati. And now number 17 will have his chance. Dolphins have never lost 2 straight when they've had a 2-touchdown lead.
Speaking of Gruden,
I didn't think we were in Tampa. There's John. Came to see his brother coach tonight.
Yep. Jay's a good coach, man. Really good coach.
Al Nugent, who just hit the big kick to kick off. Running up on it 5 yards deep. Big Ben bringing it out. Looking for a crease. Found a little one as he got across the 20 out to the 24-yard line. 29-yard return. Here comes Ryan Tannehill, the 2nd-year quarterback out of Texas A&M.
And compounding the whole issue here is that your field goal kicker is a rookie.
He's missed most of his last 6. He's hit 1.
Yeah, he's 2 for his last 7, I believe, isn't he? One for his last 5 coming in tonight. Missed an easy one and made an easy one.
That's right. I forgot about the one he made. You're right. Tannehill goes under. Just got buried by that front wall. Michael Johnson draped all over him. 3rd sack of the night. That's what you don't need right there.
Yeah, and this is their typical X stunt. Michael Johnson's going to come under. The defensive tackle comes around. Johnson does a great job beating McKinney inside, fitting through the space with Garner, who tries to pick him up. And that's a sight all too familiar for Dolphin fans from this season.
Michael Johnson, who had 11.5 sacks last year, a big one there to force Miami to take its final timeout. Now it's 2nd down and 17. It's out of Andy Dalton's hands right now and in the hands of Ryan Tannehill.
This is where it's difficult. They're not, we talked earlier, Brad, they're not a chunk team. They have difficulties getting the ball down the field.
Of course, they'd love to get a long ball to Mike Wallace, but you got to have time to throw to number 11. There he is, out to the right side on 2nd and 17. Tannehill Got one down to Matthews. Not going to be a first down, though. Going to have to hustle.
That was a heck of a throw right there by Tannehill.
Remember, it's 3rd down and 1. Can't spike it here. And he completes it out to the 42-yard line. Now it is a first down. That one to Charles Clay. And the Dolphins hustling up with 40 seconds remaining. Remember, they're out of timeouts. Now they will throw again. I thought maybe he was going to clock that one, and he got it out to Wallace, and he got out of bounds.
I like that play. Everybody stayed still, basically, except for the 2 people involved. 3 if you count the center.
Right. And there is the kicker, Caleb Sturgis, a rookie out of Florida, hoping for a chance. They still got to cover a pretty good piece of ground here to give him a shot.
They got to get down to about the 35 just to give him a 53-yard attempt. His long this year is 54.
Which is what Nugent just hit moments ago to give the Bengals the lead. Tannehill with no timeouts. Fires. What a play. Pitch and catch to Hartline. Out of bounds. 20-yard pickup.
Crafty move by Hartline, getting open over Adam Jones. Drags both feet. Holds onto the football. That's a wonderful throw and catch.
Down to the 32-yard line. So they're in field goal range. And they still have 27 seconds to play with. But no timeouts, remember. Blitz coming. Tannehill almost threw that one to the wrong jersey. Rashard Matthews was the intended receiver.
That last play, what a nice job. This is cover 2-man, where the corner trails the receiver and the safety comes over the top. It's pretty good coverage, but just a beautiful throw. Tannehill's made back-to-back beautiful throws. Hartline drags the feet. That's a huge play.
Now down to 24 seconds and no timeouts. 2nd down and 10. Even if it's in the field of play, you should have time to go up, get your lineup, and clock it to get your field goal unit out there. But they'll go to the outside and not worry about that with Hartline making his 2nd catch on this drive. 6 more yards to the 26.
Hartline, a crafty receiver, faster than people think. Can play inside and outside.
Caught over 1,000 yards worth of passes last year. 2 biggest catches for him tonight have come in this drive. 3rd down and 4. Sturgis 1 for 2 tonight. As Mike said, his career long and season long is the same as a rookie, 54 yards. Tannehill can't take a sack here. Almost got hit. Threw into coverage. Incomplete. And here comes the field goal unit.
Yeah.
Earlier in the ball game, Sturgis missed a 34-yarder wide left. Last week against the Patriots, he hit a 52-yarder. He missed a 46-yarder and had a 39-yarder blocked. This is a 44-yard field goal attempt. And the Dolphins, Cincinnati will take a timeout to try to put a little more pressure on the rookie.
And keep in mind, watching some of their tape this year on field goal attempts, they've been weak up the middle.
Yes, they have.
Last week, New England got one up the middle. They've been pushed back repeatedly.
So Marvin Lewis taking the timeout. Cincinnati down to 1.
I'll tell you one thing, Brad, and those 2 throws that Tannehill made on that drive were really impressive.
Both to Hartline. So now it's John Denny to snap. Brandon Fields to hold. Caleb Sturgis to try to tie it up from 44 yards out. Kick on the way, and it's perfect.
Nice job, kid. Nice job.
Tied again with 11 seconds remaining. 50-yard drive in 9 plays. And when they desperately needed 3 off the rookie field goal kicker's right foot, he was perfect down the middle.
You know what I like, Brad? In the last 2 drives, both quarterbacks were at their best all day long.
That's right.
Dalton dropped a couple in. Tannehill on that drive. Really kind of cool to see young quarterbacks come back with the game on the line and play well.
"11 seconds remaining in regulation." Wow, what a way to come back after a rough couple of weeks as the Dolphin kicker. The rookie who played his college ball right here in the States. He could run for mayor of South Beach right now if they win this football game.
Joe Philbin relieved, get this game into overtime. Special teams coach was about 10 yards on the field, just got pulled off by one of the refs.
And Sturgis will kick it deep. Actually running up on it at the 4 is Tate. And Tate out across the 25 with 5 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter.
That's Miami special teams coach Darren Rizzi.
So Andy Dalton, whose Bengals came back and scored 17 unanswered. The defense, though, just allowed a 50-yard drive by the Dolphins to tie it up with the field goal. And now we got 1 snap left before we head to overtime. So the Bengals have been in an overtime this year, and they won it. They're going to another one right here in Miami. So 60 minutes wasn't enough. We go to overtime. So Bill Levy will walk out there, the referee, and reflip the coin.
Brad, this is a little different than college football. You know, in the college football overtime scenario, you want the ball last because you want to see what you have to beat or tie. I think in this situation, you're only going to play 1 quarter. And remember what the rules are here. If you get the ball first and take it back for a touchdown, the game's over.
Right. If you
kick a field goal,
then the other team
gets a shot to match or beat you. So,
all right, captains, we will play an overtime period of up to 15 minutes. Both teams will be given an opportunity to possess the ball unless the first team that gets the ball scores a touchdown or there's a defensive score. If neither team scores, the game will be recorded as a tie. 4th quarter timing rules will be in effect. Each team is given 2 timeouts, and all the replays will be from the replay booth. Cincinnati, you're the visitors, you'll call it. Tail and a head. Tails. And it's heads. You want the ball. What goal do you want it to hit? You're in the right direction.
Yep, couldn't have been explained any better than Bill Levy just did. So overtime on Thursday Night Football. The Dolphins, who came back to get the late field goal, will have the first shot when we come back. Set to start overtime at Sun Life Stadium. Brad Nessler, Mike Mayock, Alex Flanagan, and our NFL Network crew, as 4 quarters was not enough. The Dolphins won the toss, and Tannehill and company will have the first shot at it. Mike Nugent, who tied the game, or rather took the lead in the game late in the quarter with a long field goal, will kick away to Marcus Thigpen. Well, they got their money's worth and then some on Halloween night in South Florida. Thigpen will have to take a knee here. So out to the 20 come the Dolphins. As Mike said earlier, Tannehill and Andy Dalton, when they had to be at their best on the last 2 drives, were. And let's see if that continues for the second-year quarterback.
And the Dolphins down to 6 healthy offensive linemen, I think, have done a heck of a job with that group, and give line coach Jim Turner a little bit of credit for that, keeping it together.
Hartline, who made 2 big catches on the last drive, is out to the near side. Wallace, the wide receiver, the other way, but this is going to be a run all the way for Lamar Miller. He's had a good night. Over 100 yards on the ground.
Some pretty impressive young backs tonight. Miller's had a heck of a game other than the 1 turnover.
Yep.
And obviously Bernard was the star of the game until he got hurt.
One a rookie and one a second-year player. Both out of the ACC. One from North Carolina and this guy from Miami. First career 100-yard game, in fact, for Lamar.
All 6 offensive linemen in the game right now.
The only ones they have left. Tannehill throws out to Clay. Puts the brakes on. Nice spin move. Good balance. Almost got him a first down. Nifty footwork by Charles Clay.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. He spun away from the nickel, Chris Crocker. Crocker comes up to make the tackle. Spin move. Stays on his feet. Charles Clay's one of those tweeners, and you can look at that negatively or positively. I think the Dolphins choose to look at it positively. Remember, they signed a free agent tight end, Dustin Keller. He got hurt. This kid's had to do a heck of a lot this year, and I think it's stepped up.
Third down. Now to 5 seconds on the play clock. Take a timeout. You get 2 timeouts in overtime. There goes 1. So a big third down and a long yard coming up. City will be Minneapolis next Thursday night. RG3, AD2. It'll be fun. 2 of the most electrifying guys in football, the Redskins and the Vikings, next Thursday night from the Metrodome. Okay, partner, it's third down and a long one right here. Had to take a timeout. Only 1 left for Miami. It's a good timeout if you get the first down. Otherwise, it doesn't look so good.
You know, and it doesn't matter as much in overtime, burning 1 early. You get 2 for 1 period.
Let's see what they've come up with.
Yeah, for 3rd and 1, get it right. Here comes Agnew late, and now there's confusion.
You shouldn't have confusion after a timeout.
No.
Clay in the backfield on one side and Miller to the right of Tannehill, who's going to throw on 3rd and short. Double clutches, trying to tuck one in there. It's incomplete. Adam Jones knocked it away from Hartline.
Yeah, it's tough to fit slant in there when you're standing there patting the baby. They're burping the baby. It's really difficult. Hartline's going to run slant. Adam Jones jump, undercuts it. The ball's way too late and low.
And so a wasted possession in overtime, and Fields will punt. So Miami's had its possession. Bengals about set to get theirs, and it'll be taken on a hop again by Tate. Does a nice job to save some extra yardage because that was going to take a Miami roll. Don Jones down there to make the stop. Andy Dalton time again.
Yeah.
Last word with Jay Gruden, and onto the field with a chance for another 4th quarter or overtime win for him.
Advantage Cincinnati when you make that initial stop.
Yep.
Field goal or touchdown, game over.
They start at the 25-yard line. Miami defense, it's been very good all night long, being asked one more time to give it back to their offense. Green Ellis on a counter, trying to stiff arm to get outside. Dolphins aren't going to let him. Loss of a yard. Randy Stark stayed with it.
Good job at the point of attack. Anthony Collins got no movement on the defensive end of that side. Olivier Vernon, who I think's played a really good game.
Yeah, he has.
Playing here in where he went to college, University of Miami.
Born here too. Didn't have to leave the state to play football. Loss of a yard, 2nd down and 11. Dalton fires complete to Gresham. Drags the tackler with him for a first down out to the 39-yard line.
Yeah, and that was fortunate because Gresham and A.J. Green both ran a route to the exact same place. Watch them. This is a mistake here. Green thinks he's got it, but it goes to Gresham.
And either way, they'll take it. Grimes thought Green had it too.
Right? That's very, very fortunate for Cincinnati. They make a mental mistake and come away with a first down.
Just inside their own 40. Green Ellis, a stop, a spin, broke a tackle, and made something out of nothing. Ellerby put him down, but he got 3 yards.
Made Cameron Wake miss him in the backfield. A couple spin moves today by Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, huh?
Showing some fancy footwork.
Yeah.
Much like Giovanni Bernard. Gresham stretching out over there on the sideline. 2nd down and 7. Pierman in the backfield this time.
And Miami with their pass rushing defensive tackles, both Odrick and Starks in the game along with the nickel package.
A.J. Green is the slot man, the second of the receivers on the right side. Pass. Oh, wow. Complete to Sanu, and I bet he wishes he hadn't caught it. Well, he was going to get hit either way, I guess.
Brent Grimes is so stinking feisty, man. I love watching this kid play ball. He's going to read it quickly and just watch him flash through the block attempt by Sanu and make a play. That's awesome. Drop your headgear, your shoulders in there. That's beautiful. Form tackle.
3rd down and 5. And Cincinnati's going to take a timeout. Sanu was shaken up on the play. And they were deciding who to get in there to take his spot. I think it's going to be Sanzenbacher. Grimes, remember, a 92-yard interception return for his first National Football League touchdown is what gave Miami a lead earlier in the ball game. And Cincinnati comes back to tie the game. Nugent's field goal gave him the lead, but Sturgis' field goal with just seconds remaining in the 4th quarter tied it up again for the Dolphins.
Hey, if Miami wins this game, to me, the player of the day is the corner. I'm going with Grimes. To me, he had the pick 6. He's been consistent all day long. I think the kid's played his tail off.
You want a big 3rd down on Halloween night? With a team wearing orange and black, here you go.
Right here down the bottom, 1-on-1.
Blitz. The throw caught by A.J. Green, as only A.J. Green and maybe Calvin Johnson and Julio Jones can do it.
I might throw Larry Fitzgerald in there.
Yes, I would.
But you're hitting it right on the head. Grimes got aggressive with him there, right there. Watch him contort the body, go up in the air, both down. That's gorgeous. And then Pierman, who's in because Bernard is on the sideline, does a great job picking up blitz. Really well done by Cedric Pierman.
Career high night for A.J. Green. That's his 11th catch. First down, Cincinnati in overtime with 10 minutes remaining in OT. Green Ellis on the inside run, stood up at the 39. Pickup of a couple.
Just a one-back power play there. Double team the nose, pull the backside. Left guard. Clint Bowling's done a heck of a job pulling tonight.
Dolphins change up a couple of bodies defensively. Nugent warming up on the sideline with a 2nd down and 8.
Still need yards. Gonna force you to make a decision here because A.J. Green comes all the way over here to the sideline. Grimes is on him down here at the bottom.
Dalton, 3 interceptions tonight, but a chance to win the game on this drive. Throws, and this one should have been caught by Sanu. We've had some drops tonight. Right through his hands.
Yeah, not a whole lot to say there. Self-explanatory. They still need some yardage here.
Mike, A.J. Green has had 6 third down catches tonight. He's going to go out to the top of your screen.
And this time, Grimes does not match him. It's Sanford. I think Dalton's eyes have got to be huge.
3rd and 8. Dolphins bring an extra rusher, and it's knocked down by Ellerby.
The pressure from Wake against the right tackle is what disrupted this play. From the right side of your screen, look at Wake come, gets a piece of the quarterback who cannot step into the throw.
It would be about a 56 or 7-yard field goal. They bring out the punter. He's hit a couple inside the 10 tonight. Kevin Huber, the left footer, high, wobbly kick. Fair caught around the 13-yard line. Only a 26-yard punt that time. And Tannehill gets another shot. Jay Gruden goes over to have a seat next to Andy Dalton, hoping to get the ball back.
So 90 plays for Cincinnati tonight.
Wow.
90 versus 58 for Miami. You've got to believe Cincinnati's defense has got to be more fresh than Miami's.
High backfield with Lamar Miller behind Tannehill.
Yeah, they don't want him to run the football. They've walked Aloka up there along with both linebackers. Solid 8-man front. Let's see if he checks out of it.
He will throw, and he's going to go deep. Got a man out there, and it's going to be interference.
Oh yeah.
On Terrence Newman.
Oh yeah. And let's give Ryan Tannehill a ton of credit. He read the box correctly. Cincinnati challenged him to throw the football. They blocked it up, and they threw it. All the Miami fans wanted to see a vertical. There it is.
Not a catch, but just as good.
Just as good. All day long.
Dolphins in Bengal territory. A 38-yard penalty at the 48-yard line. And Terrence Newman gets a flag right in his face.
Look at him just run away from Newman. Great protection.
Tannehill in the shotgun on first down. Wanted to go right, comes back across the middle. Good toss, got it to Miller. Miller to the 40. And now the Dolphins are closing in on field goal range.
Tannehill growing up right here a little bit. He wanted to go out wide, came back underneath, checked it down. I love the decision to check it down.
Sturgis just pacing by himself over there on the Miami sideline. Daniel Thomas back in at tailback on second down and 2. Here he comes into the middle of the pile. Should have the first down with that carry.
Remember, next score wins, right, partner?
Yep.
We're now officially in sudden death.
The Dolphin faithful that have been waiting for 4 weeks to get off the loss column, and they're still holding their breath right here in overtime. The Dolphins huddling around as they bring out the sticks to see if he got the first down. I thought he had it, but maybe not. Nope. A few links off.
That's your first one in 3 years that you missed.
I challenged the spot.
Well, you have to, because it's going to come up from up top in overtime, right? There's General Manager Jeff Ireland. Controversial moves in free agency this offseason. They spent an awful lot of money. People questioning whether or not it's going to bear out for this team. Critical night tonight, trying to get back to 500.
Spent good money on Brent Grimes, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, favorite move of all of them. I agree with you.
Third down and inches. Charles Clay in motion. Second man is not going to get there at all. Loss on the play for Thomas of a yard.
Really nice job inside, getting low.
Here comes the punting unit.
Watch him get low under here. There's the penetration at the point of attack. Agnew can't move Adam Jones. That's really good team defense.
Neither coach willing to give their field goal kicker a long shot. Nugent first, and now Sturgis, so Fields will kick to Brandon Tate.
Good point. Both of them were on the 40-yard line, would effectively be 58-yard attempts, and neither willing to give that field position to the other team.
Nice job by the Dolphins to get down there and almost catch that football. Jimmy Wilson on the special teams. So Cincinnati's got the ball back, but the Bengals are in a hole here at the 8-yard line. 6:52. Remember, if nobody scores, you get one of those strange ones on the end of your column after the wins and the losses.
Yep. Still plenty of time. 6:52 left in overtime.
Each team with one of their allotted 2 timeouts remaining. First down from the 8. Dalton in the shotgun. From his own goal line, had to get rid of it in a hurry and had to get rid of it too fast. Intended for either A.J. Green or Gresham. Again, both guys kind of in the same spot.
Well, a linebacker X stunt, meaning the 2 linebackers, Ellerby and Wheeler, crossed. Immediate pressure up the middle.
Second down and 10.
Quick snap, they got him.
Dalton airing it down the sideline. His receiver fell down. A.J. Green incomplete. Grimes was covering.
They had a chance here too because they quick snapped them and Miami wasn't set. Matter of fact, one of their linebackers was calling for.
That was just a slip. They didn't get their feet tangled up. That one never had a chance once A.J. Green went down.
Look at it, they're calling timeout in here. They're not ready to go. Dalton alertly trying to take a deep shot, but Grimes is not the guy that's trying to compete with.
The Dolphins can get a stop here. They're going to get great field position on the next punt. Third down and 10. Dalton in his own end zone, and down he goes. Is it a safety?
Ball game.
It is. Dolphins win. Andy Dalton goes down in a wake. Named Cameron, a safety, ball game, end of a 4-game losing skid, the end of a 4-game winning streak.
Cameron Wake on a slant is going to beat Zeitler, the guard. Slants down inside. Zeitler lets him get across his face. This is really close. Where the football, oh, what a great job by Wake.
Cameron Wake, who tweaked his knee against the Atlanta Falcons.
They got to take a look here because the football has to be all the way out of the end zone. Okay, the football right now is in front of the goal line, right there. Then he tucks it and it crosses the plane of the goal line.
Everybody still standing around on the field, both teams. Cameron Wake, big night, and maybe the biggest play for the Dolphins in the last month.
That's closer than people think, and it's a booth review. All reviews from the booth in overtime. Now that ball's out of the end zone right there. When he tucks it, it crosses. I think it's got to stay as a safety from my perspective.
Called a safety on the field. He tucks it on his own. This isn't pressured. He's going to pull it back right there against his shoulder pad. And then the helmet's right on the ball from Cameron Wake.
Yep.
What a way to end
the ruling
wacky
on the
night.
field is confirmed.
Yep, it's over.
Safety.
Cameron Wake pulls the trick, and the Dolphins have a treat on Halloween night.
I give Miami a ton of credit. It looked like the same old Dolphins giving up a lead in the second half. They hung in there, made plays, and the biggest play of all by Cameron Wake.
Cameron Wake is going to be with the guys on the Total Access post-game show. Highlights, analysis, interviews, press conferences, and all the rest. What a night for the Dolphin front. We talked about them about 4 hours ago on the pregame show that when they're healthy, they're good. Next week, Redskins and Vikings. Hope you join us from the Metrodome. Third time in NFL history that a game ends in overtime with a safety. Total Access postgame is coming up next. Dolphins 22, Bengals 20 in OT.